friends, I'm Fairy Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot, to communicate energies to you guys, most amazing, beautiful viewers. Super excited to get into today's reading. We'll be taking a look at the energy going into 2025 throughout all 4 areas of your world, and these areas will overlap. Okay, as you can see, we have all the aces out here for the different areas of your life. We have the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands, which is the Ace of Stabs in this deck, Ace of Sacred Circles, and the Ace of Cups. Ace of Sacred Circles is Pentacles. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll look at an area of your world when it comes to thought creation and expression, and maybe important key conversations or ways that you bring your thoughts and ideas into action for 2025. We'll also be looking at areas of your passion, your creative pursuits, your desires, any sort of passion projects, and how you might take action on some of that. Also be looking at more practical aspects of your world, maybe where you are geographically, or your career, or any sort of major happenings going on in your immediate circle. And then we'll be looking at the area of your emotions, your romances, your connections, your relationships, and maybe even part of your spirituality, and how you're connecting on a soul level emotionally to what's going on around you. So we'll look at all 4 areas. Okay, it doesn't matter which card you pick, although you will pick one of these cards, and we'll get into the card selection shortly. Let's get into the quick disclaimer before we get into the decks I'll be using for this reading. Beautiful people, if you're new to tarot does not predict the future. If you are using this reading to predict the future and you think your reality is set in stone, then this is definitely not your reading. This tarot reading is reflecting back to you an energy state that you are already in tune with. So this should be confirming to you your own intuition and things that come through your dreams, your senses, and this is a mirror that will confirm to you some of what is going on. Now, since we can change with free will the direction, the course of our future, it is up to you to take action and change the direction in which you might not want to go in. Okay, so that is solely up to you. If there's challenges with the messaging that comes through here because it doesn't resonate, then it's certainly not your pile. And if it is something that might make you uncomfortable, it could certainly still be your pile and it's challenging you to heal. Or it could just be you're not ready or prepared to hear the messages in that pile. That's absolutely okay. You could take that up with spirit if you want. You can leave comments. All comments are welcome here, although I do not endorse or support any victim mentality. And if you're completely scratching your head and confused, then that means either the pile's not for you, you're not ready to hear it, or there's something in that messaging that's pushing you outside of your comfort zone. And that is solely between you and spirit, whether you want to take on that challenge or you want to stay in ignorant bliss. That is definitely up to you. Okay, so also the energy that pulls through here sometimes comes very, very direct. And it is so I could translate that energy into words. And sometimes it's very difficult to put words to energy. I do my very best. And I do use spirit to be able to communicate what it is that is needing to be expressed. So one word could have different meanings for different people, and for you it might mean something different than for another viewer, and that word will impact you however it's supposed to impact you. Okay, so there's no mistakes in readings. Everything happens sort of for a reason. If there's interruptions and if there's certain words being expressed that aren't necessarily what it is, that is the definition, textbook dictionary definition, doesn't mean that it's not that word. If you resonate with that energy, then that messaging's for you. We also get messages that like I said, are very, very intense and dramatic, but it doesn't have to fall in that sort of intensity. It's up to you to sort of determine where on the scale that the energy falls in. Sometimes it is more of a nuanced sort of way that you understand that energy, and that's up to you, because there's a lot of viewers here, and so the messaging doesn't necessarily come in exactly to match your specific situation, and it's more of a general overview of energy. Okay, so it's absolutely fine to resonate and then apply it sort of to your situation, although you don't have to force things to fit. And if there's specific messages, those are generally here for certain individuals, and those could be left aside. You don't have to resonate with everything being said, okay? And a lot of times energy, because it's so intertwined and interconnected, all piles sort of blend into each other. And I'm talking about all four of these options might blend into each other. It could be people around you, situations around you. You could be tapped into your divine counterpart's energy. You could be tapped into a major situation from another aspect of that situation. It could be that spirit comes through with a completely different message, and spirit's wanting to, I don't know, bring to your attention. Maybe you're ignoring your dreams and your visions, and so spirit's taking this opportunity to communicate what it needs to, and it might have absolutely nothing to do with the reading at hand. That comes through here as well. Okay, things overlap, so you can assign who is who. Keep an open mind, because again, if you're expecting to see something and have an overall idea of what you're about to see, then you're already determining something here that might close you off to a more important message. Although I do believe everything for a reason, and certainly if you're not prepared to hear that reading, you won't understand it in the way that it's meant to be taken. And so you could come back here and have a complete different understanding when you're a more evolved version of self, or have a higher state of consciousness. So this is why I always say you can go visit any one of my readings. They're all timeless, and as you evolve and ascend through your journey, all readings might hit you differently at different points in your journey. Okay, so lots of gold there in regards to messaging and healing and energy that you can always revisit. All right, so beautiful angels, let's take a look at some of the decks we're using the astrology oracle. You can pause the video if there's any here that interest you. And then for tarot, we have a lot of tarot, and not all of them are going to be used in your reading. This is the Prisma Visions Tarot. And like I said, not all these cards will be used in each reading. Obviously, it's going to be whatever sort of pulls through each area intuitively. I don't know if you guys can see this one. Finally, for the card selection here at the beginning, we're using this Ancestral Paths Tarot. Beautiful deck. Okay, beautiful angels. For the card selection, I'll hold these up. If at any point you're pulled to any one of these, you can select from the timestamp. For option 1, we have the Ace of Swords. And we will be going into all 4 areas, regardless of whichever card you choose. So for example, if you choose the Ace of Staves, which is the Ace of Wands, we'll still be looking at the Swords, Wands, Pentacles, and Cups areas in each aspect in this grouping. And option number 3, we have the Ace of Sacred Circles, which is the Ace of Pentacles. And finally, for the 4th option, pile 4, we have the Ace of Cups. So gorgeous angels. Let's sit and use your intuition. Okay, whichever pile you're most likely first pulled into will have the bulk of the energy you're needing to listen to, but no shame in backing out of that and going to another pile. If it doesn't resonate at the time that you're clicking on there, it could be a future energy that's not familiar to you. It could be your passing energy too, okay? But it should be something that resonates for you in order for you to really know that that's your pile, okay? Not everyone's in the exact same spots on the journey, so you could be coming into certain energies, you could be coming out of certain energies. This is going to pick up any new beginnings, anything that's sort of closing out, as well as anything maybe you're carrying into 2025 and resolving throughout the year, okay? But we'll see as the energy pulls through. And I love you guys very much, and I will let you guys sit here with this pile. I'll let it run for a bit, or these options, and then when you're ready, click on the timestamp and I will see you at your pick. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. You guys, pile 1. You guys picked the Ace of Swords, and we're looking at all 4 areas. I will slide your card over here. We're looking at thoughts and ideas maybe that come through in way of needing to be expressed and carried forward, any sort of major actions you'll take for 2025. Then we have the Wand suit, which talks about your passions. Could overlap with career pursuits here in regards to maybe creative ideas or endeavors or ingenious ideas maybe that you carry forward, desires. And for the Ace of Pentacles, we'll be looking at any sort of practical things going on in your world. It could be work related, could be geographical, depending on what pulls through here, which definitely could overlap in many areas. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is your relationships and your emotions and maybe creative sort of passions, which might overlap with the Wands and your spiritual nature and that sort of thing. Okay, so we'll look at all 4 areas here, and we'll be using multiple decks here depending on what pulls through intuitively for me, and then we'll follow up with some oracle cards to give you your overall energy. Now, in these 4 areas, we're going to get the highlights of 2025, okay, or else we'd be here till the end of 2025 the way I read. So hopefully I could keep things very sort of simple and really looking at the highlights in these areas, whether we're beginning something new, maybe we're closing something out, or we're just going through some sort of lesson or experience, or we're needing to close certain things out and bringing that into 2025. So we should see sort of where you fall in that area. Okay, now I'll go back to my disclaimer. If you are unsure of how tarot sort of works here, because we're not really predicting anything that is supposed to happen in 2025. We're just reading your energy back to you, okay? So let's start off with the sword suit, and we'll ask Spirit for a clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1 in regards to when it comes to any sort of ideas, expression, action based on anything that they're intending on taking action on for 2025. Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 1. Thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. So maybe there's some major conversations, some pivotal points. Maybe there's some truths that we realize, that sort of thing that comes through with the Ace of Swords, a form of self-expression, or something maybe we start to see a little differently. I do feel we're going to use a different deck for the second card here. We'll use this one. For pile 1 spirits, what's happening here in their sword suit and the mental realms of pile 1? Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands in reverse and we have the Two of Cups. Okie dokie. So let me sit here with this energy. Okay, pile number 1. I feel like when it comes to the Ace suit, this is still connecting back to a relationship. Okay, and this could be how you connect with yourself, or a specific relationship that you're dealing with right now, or just it could be an intimate partnership and maybe certain ideas and understandings you've had around what a relationship and partnership could be. But I feel like there is a major realization here, maybe in regards to a relationship not being exactly what it is that you had wanted or expected it to be. And I feel like there might be someone in your life that doesn't do it for you anymore, you know, or an area maybe of yourself that you might have understood to be something that you wanted in a relationship with someone, and you're realizing that it might not be exactly as you had intended. So I feel like there's a great revelation here in your world when it comes to connection, what you want. Maybe the person who you thought would bring you something didn't end up fulfilling it, or maybe you were pursuing someone and then you just sort of decided that it wasn't for you, or it didn't bring the value that you wanted from this person, or no longer saw them as a source of something that would fire you up or fulfill you in a way here. Or we might just be losing out any desire or appeal towards someone. So if you are in a connection that might be something that comes to light here for 2025, that you're no longer wanting to pursue maybe that same person, or if you're already in that connection, that person's no longer someone that you want to, maybe you've learned everything from that person, you know, or so, like I said, if it's a part of yourself, then it's a part of yourself that you're realizing is not what's going to fulfill you in relationship anymore. And so you no longer have that idea, mindset, or that agenda that you want to take action on. You know, maybe you say, well, I want someone who's going to be, I don't know, a certain list of things or an understanding you have of what you need. And I feel like you come to terms with that might not be the best thing for you, you know, or that person, that situation isn't the best to fulfill you, or you no longer care to go down that road. Yeah, I feel like it's more of a realization here that you have, and an honesty that comes forward, or a clarity that comes forward in regards to connection and relationship. I feel like you're no longer willing to put up with relationships that aren't on the same page. And I feel like you also understand, maybe for some of you guys, if you have someone in your life, that you guys are on two different paths, or you guys have two different visions of what it means to connect. And maybe there is a lack of passion or desire here, you know. You might have felt like someone maybe was losing their desire towards you, or their passion towards you, and maybe you've come to some realization of what it means to be passionately driven in connection. But there's a major realization about this, you know, although I don't feel in this area here that we're taking so much action, as though we're coming to some understanding of it. And we might have tough discussions. So if you are in a connection here with someone, there might be a tough discussion in 2025 at some point regarding no longer pursuing, or no longer being or supporting an idea or an understanding you might have had with someone in regards to how you guys would connect. You know, I do feel it is a romance that might be sizzling, or a partnership that is no longer sexual potentially, you know, or if you were intimate with this person, or they provided you with some level of something, it kind of turns into a different type of relationship. And I feel like there's still a support, there's still maybe some aspect of this person that you might lean on, and maybe this person helped you to realize this greater truth, or to see something here about yourself that has made you come to this conclusion. But I feel like, I don't feel there's bad blood. I don't feel there's anything, except for, because of the situation, I now can see and understand myself differently, and come to terms with accepting a truth of where maybe a connection is, or a situation's at, you know. And I feel like there were, or probably are, some major obstacles in the way of coming together, because of the values, or because of what you might have expected from connection, that this person is not capable, or has not been able to provide you with. So like I said, there might be overlap here. Okay, so let's take a look at your Ace of Wands, which is the passions, desires, maybe creative pursuits, career could certainly come through here as well. Spirit, for the Ace of Wands here for pile 1, what's coming through for 2025, the highlight around this Ace of Wands. Yeah, the fact that this came through with the Ace of Swords and not your Ace of Cups, I feel like the Ace of Cups is going to be maybe something that touches you emotionally. And I feel like in the Ace of Swords, it's like embracing that there is a connection here that isn't doing it, you know, like some greater truth, or some vision of something that was difficult maybe in the past to see, or difficult to explain, or have the tough discussion, or embrace some greater truth in order to be able to deal with something, you know. So we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. It was wanting to spin around here, but let's see. For the Ace of okay, we got, I feel this one too. Ace of Wands. Wow, we got lots. Okay, so 2 Pentacles in reverse. We have the 6 of Cups with butterflies. We have the 3 of Pentacles with next destination. We have the 4 of Wands with the mansion. And we have the Wheel of Fortune with the destiny. And we have the Beauty Queen, which is the Queen of Wands. Wow. Okie dokie. 2 Pentacles. Let's do this. Okay, yeah, they do bleed into each other, these areas. I feel as though for 2025, this major realization or understanding that you have leads you into a greater truth of no longer maybe being up in the air or torn about what is true for you, or an understanding you have in regards to what you want for yourself and what you are feeling pulled to. Because I feel like there's major drive here in order to make change that's more aligned with your authenticity, that supports your value. And so I feel like you're coming into an acceptance and an understanding of who you truly are and what reflects your value and appreciates you and supports you. And so I feel like you feel more aligned with the I don't know, like there's something about you that maybe wasn't supported in the past, or didn't appreciate you in the past. And so you feel more alive, you feel more beautiful, you feel more accomplished, but you have to align yourself with a world here, I feel, that supports this. And so I feel like you're coming out of anything that isn't give you that purpose. And so if there's anyone in your world that was undecided, or didn't prioritize you, or didn't make you feel a certain way, that I feel like you've come to now understand I feel like you leave this behind you. And so these could be family, friends, this past soulmate person or relationship is coming through here with this Six of Cups. And it's like, I will only work with people who are willing to work with me, but work with me to create the vision I have. And the vision I have has to be something I'm passionate about, that I really want to create for myself. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And I'm willing to burn off anyone or anything that isn't aligned with this, because I want, fill in the blank. I think you want to create something long-term, something stable and grounded, but full of something that is exciting for you and supports your value and your beauty. And so I feel like there is a luxury that comes through here that you really want. There might be some travel involved in you getting aligned with this, or just moving away from that environment in which you are. So coming out of that home, you know, maybe that family home or the home you shared with whomever for a long period of time, but there's removing yourself from that situation, circumstance. And I feel like you're coming into your own. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you've been working through a major transformation of self, and you could certainly be coming out of that period early in 2025, or entering 2025 in this state. Or for some of you guys, it could be midway through the year that you reach some sort of pinnacle of transformation of self that embraces fully who you are and what you're deserving of. And I feel like the environment you surround yourself with here is an environment that really makes you feel like a winner, like you are not just a option, but a priority, and are really like aligned with this. I feel like wherever you guys felt like there was something missing or it wasn't aligned, it's now moving in the direction of bringing you to your purpose here with this destiny. Okay, but I feel like whatever there was at the beginning of the year, potentially hesitation to make a decision or to pull a trigger to choose for yourself, to support yourself, or to maybe move out or move away or pull the trigger, like I said, by not sticking around a situation that wasn't fulfilling. I feel you do this in 2025. Yeah, I said do. And this aligns everything for you. And it's like the universe has your back. And I feel like pile number one, it's like I'm hearing, now's the time. You know, if you were waiting for divine timing, now's the time. Divine timing is now sort of aligned here for you to take that chance, that risk. And I feel like you do. You know, you take that chance, you take that risk, and it's mostly because you've been shortchanged or felt shortchanged. And it could be from a partner or in that area of your life where you felt like maybe, again, you weren't valued or you weren't put on the top priority. And so this is something that aligns you with receiving in a way here that you're at your capacity to give, because I feel like you're a person here who has a lot of output. You are high value. You're able to execute, you know, on your plans and your pursuits and your career and your vision and what you can put forward. It's very difficult for maybe people to meet you at your level. And so I feel like you're having to make big changes here so that you can be met at your level, and that things can be distributed here in a way that makes you feel accepted and appreciated and valued. I also feel like there's more than one person here. So once you make this change, I feel like you encompass an energy here that brings in a lot of people of the same caliber. You know, a lot of people here I see around you that are really seeing your true value. And so I feel like there is luxury that keeps pulling through here, because you align yourself saying, I deserve luxury. And I'm going to be inspired to move towards what this looks like, but it's something I could really depend on. So I'm no longer sort of torn, maybe, that this decision to move away or to do something like this would, I don't know, like hold me back. It's like because you trust the universe to make this change, or you commit to this change, or trust yourself enough to follow something that really pulls to you, the universe rewards you in kind with luxury. And I feel like your whole environment shifts here. And I feel like people are really wanting to support and come out to work with you to make your vision happen. Because I feel like you start to encompass an energy here of being more focused on self, to the point that people are really inspired by your energy. Okay, wow, that's pretty powerful here. Let's take a look at this Ace of Pentacles then. and see what pulls through. And this is going to be, you know, practical actions, and maybe it could even be around career, or like I said, like where you're surrounding yourself in a practical way here to make these changes, which we saw here. I do feel there's like some form of a move away from something here. Okay. And maybe it was a beginning where you thought you'd lay roots. It doesn't take hold. Or maybe there was, I'm picking for some of you guys, like an early stage of a connection or something here that couldn't fully develop. And so you had to just pull yourself out of it because it didn't fully develop into what you thought it would. That's for some of you guys. Okay, for others of you guys, I feel like maybe, like I said, there's a soulmate energy here that might have felt like family. It could certainly be like, you know, a family situation that's just been difficult for you to pull yourself out of, because it was no longer, there was no longer anything that could come from this situation that would grow to the level in which I feel you are wanting to grow and develop. So let's see, Spirit, what's with this Ace of Pentacles, the area of the Ace of Pentacles here in a practical way for pile number 1? What's going to happen here? So we have the Hermit in reverse. So we have a Virgo energy pulling through. We also have with the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, so Hermit in reverse, and we have the Death card in reverse, Scorpio energy, and then we have the Four Wands. So we had Four Wands coming through here, Four Wands in reverse. So let me sit here with your Ace of Pentacles energy and see what's going on here. So 2025 is really going to be, I feel, a year of making certain that your moves are aligned with the true core of who you are. And I feel like this involves upturning a big part of your life where you laid roots. I do feel like for a lot of you guys, it could be really making changes, like in regards to your home situation. You know, like home is really pulling through, but it's your community of people. So for some of you guys, it could be the job, you know, and because we see the Queen of Wands here, this could be a long-time career that you've been invested in and having to make the decision to leave. But I feel like there's a lot of having to really consider and review and connect spiritually to what is the right decision for you to do. But I feel like the major change here in your world that happens in a practical way to allow you to have a new beginning is to wrap up and close out certain things that were very difficult for you or still attached to you in some way until you deconstructed that. And I feel like you're no longer wanting to hide away. You're no longer wanting to hide away from the real world to make things happen. And so if you've been in contemplation and trying to decide what's aligned for you, I feel like this is the bulk of what you're dealing with for 2025 is like really what is the best course of action for me, where I can be seen and where I can leave a part of myself that no longer suits my energy of who I am or who I want to become. And so we take the time to deconstruct that version of ourselves and detach from certain things. And I feel like this has been something that's been very challenging, but I feel like there is this coming out of hiding into, you know, being seen for who you are. And I feel like something within you spiritually is pulling to you in a new direction. And I feel like it might be something that is very drawn out here in order to deconstruct, because the deconstruction of whatever it is here is a process of the transformation that turns you into the version of who you come out to be. You know, but I feel like there is this risk-reward ratio, and it's like I really want to align myself with a better future vision of what I desire for myself, and maybe for the first time do something for yourself rather than for a community of people or for someone else. So I do feel like there is a point in 2025 where we might feel like the foundation isn't below us, because I do feel it is a year of transition, you know, and in this transition, this is where you're being formed. So I feel like you're moving towards laying the foundation of a new community. So, you know, if you were, let's say, in a marriage, because this could represent, then it's like this year's a transition out so that you can align yourself with the right community of people for you to find the right partner. But I feel like you're having to pick yourself out and then up and then align yourself with that community. But it's not seen, the transformation, but you're going through the transition in which this transformation is happening. So I do feel like the whole year is really not something that is consistently sort of stable. It is something that is full of changes. It is something that is full of releasing. It is something that you're having to really do a lot of deconstructing in order for you to align. But I feel like as you let go and as you deconstruct, you get more aligned with your future. You get more aligned with where you're headed. But I feel like there's a lot of focus on the release and the deconstruction of what it is that you've built over time here. Because I feel like there is still a need to connect to that version of you, which I feel you intuitively and within you know, but have had a hard time maybe aligning yourself with that on the outside in a practical way here. So that would mean we desire and feel that we are worthy or deserve a better job or a better partnership or whatever, but we're having a difficult time seeing the right people or the right things out there. And so I feel like the more we detach and release from the circle of people or the environment that's not doing it, the closer we get to finding out what we deserve. And so I don't feel it becomes very obvious to you, you know, that who you want to be or where you want to go, but I feel like it becomes more obvious as you detach from what you don't want. And so back to this Ace of Swords, I feel like you embracing a truth or seeing clarity about a situation or a partnership is the cascade here that allows the universe to get involved to move you towards something greater, so that your world then becomes that reflection in which you feel you're really deserving of, you know. But the only way you really get to understand this and see this is by making space for it and actually telling the universe, I'm worthy of releasing, I'm worthy of making changes. And like I keep seeing deconstructing, and I'm surprised we're not seeing the tower, but it's really deconstructing the thing I've built here that might be something that I relied on and was very stable. Because like I talk about, the hermit goes on the hermit's journey, and the hermit has in order for the hermit to really get to know itself, it has to detach itself from the structure and the world that it's built. And so it comes from the pentacle realm that it's created, the stability it's created over time, and it has to be willing to walk away and go live in the mountains in order to reflect back to itself with spirit, a greater truth. And so when the hermit does this soul searching, it comes back a complete different person, and it's more aligned with the spiritual side of what the hermit needs. And so it's not the same person, and it no longer aligns with the same groups of people in the material world. And so I feel like the process of having to go through this is one that is very challenging and difficult here for the hermits to do, but it's very rewarding. And so I feel like this is a big part of 2025. So let's take a look at the cups then. Okay, so let's just slide it. The cups. So this is partnerships and your spiritual side and your relationships and emotions. Let's see, what do we pull? Let's grab this and this. Okay. I am feeling also this. Okay. So for the Ace of Cups, when it comes to pile number 1, Spirit, what is pile 1 needing to know here? We have the Page of Cups. We have the Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy. Scorpio, I don't know if I mentioned in Virgo. So the Hierophant's in reverse. And finally, for the Ace of Cups for pile number 1, we have the Page of Swords and we have the Sun. Okay. Let me move these cards out of our way. So, pile 1. We got 2 pages here. Okay, so some of you guys could certainly have children. That's pulling in as a confirmation for some of you guys, but it doesn't have to be. But the pages are this novice energy. And I feel like the novice energy here is going from a situation that maybe was very established. You know, like I feel like there's some past situation, a home situation, a community of people, could be career, family, like I said, for all of you guys is different, okay? But I feel like you're having to do the hermit's journey, and as a result of the hermit's journey, like I said, some of you guys coming out of this, some of you guys spending the bulk of 2025 in order to wake up, shake up this great truth that you've had, this revelation of what you're deserving of, and you want to be appreciated. So I feel like you make major changes to your lifestyle. You know, the thing you committed and dedicated to, the thing that you built gets turned on its side. You're really contemplating, like, what do I want to value and how can I align myself with something here? And even if it's unconventional here, because like I said before, there's this, I'll burn whatever doesn't align with my greatness. And, you know, it's like maybe in the past you had people that were all of one like mind, but there's this newer truth within you that sees something different. And it could be something unconventional that you're willing to take a risk on, that people might have said don't do it, or you might have talked yourself out of it, or you might have been going back and forth, like, should I go and abandon this sort of version of myself? And so I feel like there is this pull towards abandoning and really dealing with a set of circumstances in your lifestyle and what you committed to this new version of yourself that's willing to shake up and change because of the pull that you feel in your heart, because your heart is really calling towards this, you know. And I do feel like it's some wish of yours that maybe you thought wouldn't be a reality. Ooh, this is the pigs grow wings. So it's almost like in the past it was something that just seemed like maybe, you know, like something you'd want but could never see happen. And it's like there's this clarity around you not understanding, or yeah, like there was the lack of seeing through or understanding that now comes in for 2025. It's like I now shine the light and have clarity around this area that maybe before I didn't fully understand, because I didn't feel I was deserving of, or I didn't know how to detach or deconstruct a part of my world. But now I'm seeing where I was not seeing. But I feel like this would require me to enter this new stage and maybe be like a child again, innocent in my discovery. But I feel like the aim really is to bring happiness into your life, like joy into your life. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, this is a child part of self that might have been very much either suppressed, or you didn't align yourself in, you know, like if it's a career, let's say you never went after that long lifetime dream of yours that you had as a child to align to that. If this is like a relationship, it's like I now can see the ideal relationship that I always sort of wanted for myself for the future, that I just sort of maybe settled or just kind of told the line here in some way, or committed early to something that was fulfilling at one point, but it's no longer bringing me the joy or the clarity or the happiness here. And so I didn't understand or see my own value, or I couldn't make changes here because I felt like it was just something that would never come true. And so I feel like there is you working with the divine and having, like, because these are very spiritual cards with the Hermit and the Sun. It's like I became enlightened to what I would need to do in my world here in order for me to get what it is that I've always sort of connected to in my inner child and my vision of what I'd want. But it requires, like I said, making these massive changes that have been either very difficult to do or just require time, or I never really took the action or saw clearly, you know, because I feel like there was a lack of clarity, and now there's like clarity here. And the clarity might be something we see here that still might be difficult, because I feel like the clarity is now, how do I release? How do I go about releasing this, you know? But I feel like Spirit's really showing the more you release, the more you align with the thing here, because the release needs to happen in order for there to be space created. And yeah, that's really as a result of you working with the universe and taking that chance, because the hermit has to take the chance on the universe to trust in order for the hermit to become enlightened, to get to connect to that spiritual side of what really speaks to the hermit's inner child and love and passion here. That pulls through to support the value here. Yeah, I feel like there is something that made you feel not valuable or second place. Like, you don't want to settle for second, you know? So if this was a job that was just getting you by, or a relationship that's just paying the bills, or I don't know, there's something here about I don't want to settle anymore. And so, of course, we can just continue to sort of coast here, which would be the easy route. I think there's a realization that I don't want to take the comfort zone, because I feel like with the crown, you get empowered to make the change in order to risk being a novice or stepping out of something comfortable, you know? And it's like, I'm going to step out of this and I don't really know, but all I know is that I'm pointing myself towards this sunlight, because I'm getting more clear, and I have to accept my authenticity. I can't stay in a situation here that isn't reflective of my authenticity or my supporting my great potential. So let's pull your oracles then and just see what comes through here as we wrap up your reading, pile 1, and see Spirit for pile 1. Yeah, we have the Earth's heart. So it's like at the core of who I am, there is something that wasn't being fed. Again, the inner child's pulling through, something that really speaks to me. And we see the rose, because I feel rose for me, as I was talking about, the romance, you know? So maybe there's like, if you're really tied to a career, it's like your heart is romantically connected to the creative childhood dream that you always wanted to be, the painter, the singer, the actor. If this is, you know, an intimate relationship, it's like, I no longer want to be in a situation that might have felt okay in a practical way, but it didn't speak to my heart. And so I feel like there's getting to the core of the truth. And that's really the theme for 2025. It's like, but first, to get to the core of the truth, I have to get to understand or see what that truth is. And the hermit, like I said, has to take some form of risk and work through detaching in order to see himself clearly, so that the moves can be more aligned with the truth and the authenticity. Spirit for pile 1 here, what's going on here for 2025? I feel like maybe there was also you protecting a lot of this part of yourself, and maybe your environment didn't accept or see this part of yourself. I think it's a combination of you didn't feel comfortable maybe in your environment to be yourself, and so your truest self was always sheltered or hidden, or you didn't feel like you were capable or able to allow yourself to be seen. And so I feel like there was a protective energy about you in past energy. And so this is the self that wants to come out and be seen and appreciated. And that is where we get empowered to make moves and really embrace truth, to see yourself coming out as your authentic self rather than shoving it down. Yeah. And then we have 52, or the number 7, and 7's all about faith, wisdom, reflection, and understanding. So I feel like the reflection comes to this understanding, and 7's chariot, and chariot is all about the universe allowing us to move forward, but we must balance ourselves and align the chariot towards the direction in which we want to go for us to have success. So that's Cancer energy that I'm feeling, and also Tower energy, because 7 is the Tower reduced in the tarot, and the Tower is the deconstruction. Like I said, I was kept feeling the Tower, but we never saw it because we're deconstructing the roots we built here. Okay, so we have groundedness and gravity, number 39. Interesting, because this was giving me gravity, like the pigs grow wings. So I feel like a dream, a vision of yours that spoke to your heart that might have seemed very distant in some fashion or could never happen. Pigs could never grow wings kind of thing, but it's like bringing your vision into reality, getting very grounded here in an idea that maybe you were tossing back and forth, you know, like, wouldn't it be nice if I could? And then maybe going back and forth or doing spirals, and then getting very clear about this, because I feel like there was a decision to make, and you could choose the easy path, you know, the job, the relationship, the comfort zone of something that at one point I committed to or saw as my lifestyle, but I had to flip it, deconstruct it in order for me to align with something different. But I feel like there's getting more aligned with the core of who you are, with this gravity and groundedness. And look at all of these animals, and they're all sort of different. I feel like this is giving me the energy of this, because I feel like your community of people that come towards you are from, I don't know, like, I feel like it's different, you know, like you surround yourself with a variety of people here, which are all had to go through maybe similar circumstances, or you guys all connect in one understanding of something here, but all have your own unique different ways of expression or something like this. But I feel like you're concluding a cycle with the world here. It's really concluding, closing out a part of your world that, I don't know, for some of you guys, it's been a very long time, sorry, with the 6 of Cups, you know, because the 6 of Cups is our childhood. And it does speak of soulmates, and it does speak of a past situation here that we might have been really like understanding to be a part of who we are, because it created our own identity. And I feel like we're detaching from that identity because we are our own sovereign being, but we have to detach in some way here. And the 6 Cups and even this Page Cups is talking about a childhood dream, a childhood vision. You know, even the Sun, childhood, like we're really getting child. And I feel like what you're moving towards is something that gives you excitement, because it's really speaking to your inner child. It's really aligned with the core of who you are. And so you feel a sense of freedom. And I feel like the empowerment comes and you're no longer settling. And that's really the driver that we're feeling here. Venus, Mars. So Venus is the planet of beauty, and I'm getting it with the rose here with the Queen of Wands. And the Mars is getting empowered, you know, because Mars is having to be able to stand up for what we believe, be assertive, take action in our world. And Mars is heavily sort of connected here to Scorpio energy. And Scorpio is the, you know, the shadow side, and the Tower sort of energy I'm getting, really, because in order to create the Tower, we have to be in touch with the shadow self, the shadow side, and accept some darkness or some part of the Scorpio energy in order to get empowered and stand up for something here that's greater, and be the voice, you know, be the voice around what we our authenticity, and take action around that rather than just sort of bury it. So I feel like this shadow part of yourself, you can no longer suppress, and you have to take action and embrace some greater understanding in regards to your inner child, you know. But I feel like it is all around speaking to your heart with the Venus and love. And I feel like it's also creating a version of you on the outside here that feels more reflected of who you are. You're not having to cover it up in any sort of way here. Yeah, Moon, Mars, more Mars energy. So empowerment, speaking our truth, and being assertive. And 13 is also the Scorpio, or death, which is Scorpio energy, because I feel like that's really pulling through. The death is the transformation. The death is having to release and put an end to certain things. And the Moon is the lack of clarity, the unknown, the fears, the subconscious. And so there is having to push through understanding and seeing a greater truth despite the fears, despite the unknown. And so I feel like the release might have been something you were going back and forth with, because when we deconstruct what we know, what we've known all our life for a very long time, sometimes even as a child, in order to risk something here, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of unknowns. But I feel like, we don't know when we're a novice at something, or we make a decision that we'd have to relearn, but we feel a sense of empowerment because it's like, I'm willing to take that chance and work with the divine. And I've come to some greater understanding or realization about myself that I am deserving of, making this a space here. Yeah, okay. Ooh, well, this one, Aries. So what's Aries? Aries is also Mars. So we have Mars pulling through, and Mars, it says here, boost relationships through teamwork and compromise. So we had the relationships, and then we had the 3 Pentacles pulling through here. Sorry, with this one, 3 of Roses. Oh no, that's 3 Wands, sorry. But either way, 3 Wands, which is expansion, moving forward, moving onwards, laying the groundwork to move on. And so I feel like the 3s talk about growth, relationships, and this is me understanding I deserve more when it comes to how I engage with relationship. So the relationship with yourself becomes an obvious, and you becoming empowered to make changes, and who can work with you in a way that supports your beauty. So I feel like it's empowerment. Aries is masculine energy, divine masculine. Okay, that's Emperor energy, because I feel like you are the captain of making it happen, but you have to do this sort of deconstruction. And I feel like with the collaboration, it's so you can align with people that speak your language, as really getting your soul tribe. And we have 25, which is 7 again, which, like I was saying, was Chariot and Tower. So there's having to navigate through a challenging deconstruction because of the fact that it's unknown, because of the fact that it's something that you've weren't used to in some way, but it's demolishing this sort of rocky foundation in order for you to prioritize yourself, in order for you to align yourself with people who want to work with you. And I feel like this gives you a greater sense of balance, and it integrates that shadow part of self that might have been putting yourself behind, your desires, your love, your vision of what you wanted for yourself behind other people or situations is now coming to the forefront. A Tree of Life. So this is family again. And so we're getting that from the 6 of Cups, but this is the health of a family lineage. I feel like we are healing some sort of ancestral pattern here of maybe putting ourselves last, or not choosing to go after the vision we have because of maybe certain commitments or traditional beliefs we have. And this is like, you have illumination with this light that's coming through this tree. It's like the vitality of the life I want to create, the family I want around me, where I want to grow my roots, where I want to have the stability, because 4 of Wands kept coming through. That's really the family, the community, the solid foundation. Like the solid foundation has to be healthy, and it has to be something that is going to blossom, because I feel like whatever you were in was like barely blossoming. There wasn't a whole lot of fruit here. It was fizzling out, or it reached its potential and it couldn't be abundant here. And so you're wanting abundance in your life. You're wanting the stability in something here that can nurture you, or be seen in your beauty for who you are, Yeah, and I'm even seeing the masculine, feminine, because the Chariot to me is really pulling through here as the dark and the light, the masculine, the feminine. And it's the integration of both sides of yourself. Maybe the part of you that wasn't wanting to rock the boat or go after something here, it's like you embrace for there to be abundance and growth here in something solid. So you have number 35. Or the number 8, and 8 is all about movement, which we were really feeling like you moving away from some situation here. Okay, and 8 is also about change, and that's certainly Tower and the butterfly energy, having to make change and attainment, because I feel like by making the change, you attain the future you want. It's also Star energy, which, like I was saying, it's like a vision and a hope of something we thought would be distant that we couldn't attain, but it's like you getting your wish. It's like the vision you always had as a child. You can see clearly that vision, and now you're making moves and strides towards this, no longer being held back by a community of people or a thought structure, belief that you deserve to be in some situation that, was not prioritizing you, or didn't, you were back and forth about whether you could make moves and feeling very trapped and stuck, and maybe where you couldn't make ends meet, You know, maybe this job wasn't paying the bills. Maybe this relationship wasn't giving you some part of self that you were like feeling you didn't need anyway, you know, but there's like this you stepping towards, I deserve this, and I might not know how to get it, but I know what it's not, and embracing the fact that you have to release and detach from what it's not, and knowing and trusting that the universe is going to align you with what is, because of you trusting that step and working with the universe to release. And I feel like that's the bulk of 2025 here. Pile number 1, this is your reading. Very beautiful. I wish you guys the very best in 2025. I wish you guys a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I love you guys. I hope you guys find whatever it is that you guys are wanting to bring towards you. And I do feel you do this the minute you deal with whatever situations in an honest, clear way. And this is beautiful because I feel like there is a strength here. There's an empowerment here in moving towards this. If you guys were drawn to another pile, I will see you guys there. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 2, you guys picked the Ace of Staves, which is the Ace of Wands, and we're going to be looking at all 4 areas like we mentioned in the intro here. So we'll look at the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups in all areas for 2025 going into this new year. So Ace of Mirrors in this deck, it says fresh meat. Okay, don't take words so literal here, but we will tap into the energy, pulling into your thoughts, ideas, any form of action or major communications going through, or you taking action on certain ideas. We have the Ace of Wands, which says Ace of Roses, first impression rose. So this is all about our passions, our creativity, inspiration, could overlap with career, or side hustles and projects. Then we have the Ace of Rings, which is Ace of Pentacles. It says first date, so more practical aspects. Could also be in regards to career, but could be, you know, where we live, any sort of major changes, events that are happening, circumstances, that sort of thing. And then Ace of Flutes, which is the Ace of Cups, and it says first kiss. So this could be relationships and our emotional space and our spiritual space, something that we feel, you know, on an intuitive deep level here. So they do all overlap in some way, but let's begin, and we'll start with your Ace of Swords, which is your thoughts and any actions, any major conversations or epiphanies or understandings you might have for 2025. So Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. What is happening in way of this Ace of Swords for pile number 2 in their world? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. So we have the 10 Cups, and we'll pull one of these. Wow, look at this 10 Cups. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Hold it up so you guys can see. And then we have the 8 of Wands. Wow, look at that. Beautiful energy. So, fresh meat. Ace of Mirrors. Ace of Wands. Or Ace of Swords. So, what does this tell me? Beautiful angels. I feel like there's a realization here. Okay, with the Sun. And this is a realization in order to make major change. And I think it's happening quite quickly. Okay, there's an understanding here, I think, of where you want to move towards. I think 2025 is going to be a year of you expressing yourself very honestly, very openly about your own ideas and what you want for yourself. And I feel like there is travel involved for a lot of you guys, or at least really an understanding where you want to move towards. And I feel like it's like a whole new facelift of something that gives you vitality and passion that gets you out of any state. And I feel like the driver here really is the optimal state of building something with someone or a community with groups of people or your ideal relationship so that you can completely be fulfilled emotionally. Okay, because I feel like maybe there was, I don't know what's happened in the past, but I feel like there was some point in which you had to break out or finally accept some sort of truth or some understanding you have of what an ideal thing for you would be, and then to move towards this and communicate this, or even have a breakthrough around this. Because yeah, I do feel there's a lot of challenge I'm feeling intuitively here. I'm sensing challenge around what that looks like, or challenge making a move or breaking out of something that wasn't ideal and it didn't fulfill you. And it could have been a partnership, like a marriage, okay, because we do see the 10 cups here representing family, representing, you know, a couple or people who have come together to create some form of stability or family life. But I feel like with the lotus flowers talking about potentially it being challenging. So it could be a new facelift in an existing relationship and knowing which way to take this, or breaking out of something that was stagnant in order to bring fire back into your own world. Like, yeah, and with fresh meat, it could be just you're feeling revitalized in a stale situation that's been around for some time, or you're breaking out of a stale situation in order to enter a period that's of something that's more reflective of your passions, you know. But I do feel like there is no sort of holding you back because of this realization or this understanding that you have. Yeah, and because I did feel there was movement here. So if you are in an existing situation, it's like you and this person, I don't know, like pick up sticks and go and move somewhere else to revitalize this connection, or you I don't know, change things up in some way, or get out of the funk that you were in, you know. But some of you guys, like I said, it's coming completely out of that stagnant situation, and it's been very difficult. I feel like the bulk here of the energy is coming out of a very difficult relationship situation that is now sort of progressing in a facelift. It's kind of what I feel, you know. Like the sunny days are ahead. We're no longer in the dark period. We're now coming to the light. We're now entering this beautiful sort of energy. And for a lot of you guys, it might have been a lot of emotions, and I'm getting bog energy. So maybe it was like clouded emotions or contaminated emotions, or like having to navigate the emotions or understanding. And it felt like very heavy, or like we couldn't really see, and it felt almost like poisoned maybe by our own emotions or other people, or there was a lack of clarity, or yeah, it was like weighing us down. But I feel like we're being pulled out of this towards something more stable, you know, something that is more beautiful, where we can maybe breathe a little bit better. And I feel like the communication definitely improves. So there's improvement in communication, there's clarity where things were maybe more bogged down or unclear, and there's I feel more joy to be had, and there's realization around maybe things had to be difficult or had to happen in a certain way in order for there to be blooming, you know. Yeah, I feel there's movement where things were stuck, and I feel it's going in the right direction. It also feels very fast. I also feel it's very beautiful. I also feel like there is this connecting to some sort of paradise energy here, because I feel it is more serene, and it's out of the challenge that we are able to now know what beautiful optimal state is here. And I do feel it's like, because it's 10 cups, it's you and a community of people, or you and someone else, you know. Yeah, I feel like also I'm really getting there is something that had to be nurtured or cultivated, because when it came to you, and it could be a relationship here, it was in its raw state. And so we might have had to, yeah, like get it to the point where now it's eatable or edible or workable, you know, like it's now digestible. Yeah, okay. But I feel like that's where there's a lot of realization, and this is where there's an understanding, a seeing of this. Okay, so let's move on to this Ace of Roses, which is Ace of Wands, first impression rose. So the Ace of Wands talks about our passions and our desires, and maybe where we're inspired. And the fact that this deck is the deck really of romance here, this reading could be very overlapped in that, because I feel like there's this major shift here in your I don't know, like with cups is talking about very intimate sort of relationships and family life, you know. And here we see someone handing someone else a rose, and this rose has thorns on it, which is talking about the difficulty I was really tapped into here. And so a situation maybe that felt painful or was very, you know, like painful, is now sort of budding into this I don't know, like it's created something beautiful. It was able to create something beautiful. So let's see what's going on around this area. So like I said, the intro, this is going to highlight your highlights for 2025, but you're not stuck to any of what we see here. You are in control of your own free will, okay? But this is just pulling through the more strong energies that come through for your year of 2025. What's going on here with this Ace of Wands for pile number 2, Spirit? And we'll pull one of these as well. For pile number 2, Spirit, what is going on? The Hermit, Virgo energy, and we have the Magician, more Virgo energy, and Gemini. So we were getting lots of communication coming through here. Ace of Swords could be through adversity. We see a truth, you know, and that's really what I was feeling also with the Lotus and also with these thorns. So tough situations maybe that came to us in a raw state. You know, we weren't quite sure what to do with them, but we were priming them or needing to do something in order for them to be workable. So I feel like this is Magician, right? Like having to manifest and work with the unmanifest in order to create something here. And I feel like this Hermit could certainly be really tied to a spiritual side of ourselves here that we have to connect to in order for us to turn things into reality in 3D form, and tapping into which part of ourselves can create the thing in which we're needing to create. But I feel like there is I feel like there is a part of yourself here that maybe was really removed and isolated and by choice sort of shut down for whatever reason. Maybe it was your comfort zone. Maybe you were knowing yourself and feeling as though there was no external maybe situation that was worthy of coming out or aligning yourself or working with. But I feel there's a coming out, although we see the Hermit here, you know, and maybe we were waiting for the right time. Or you could certainly be dealing with someone here that was removed and waiting for the right time. I see the airplane, which again is talking about travel, because 8 Wands to me is travel. There's movement here. But this plane's sort of going backwards too. So maybe there was, I don't know, like revisiting an old situation or having to deal with an old situation that kept us stuck or kept us removed or kept us not able to step forward to manifest or create the new thing here, or feeling like we couldn't find the right tools. And like I said, this could be someone you were dealing with, and so there has been a struggle or a challenge around dealing or working with or collaborating with another person here that might have been stuck in the past or very removed or incapable of moving forward, or some aspect of this person was shut down or isolated in some way. But there's manifesting here, and there's manifesting with possibility and having whatever it takes here to create. I'm seeing lots of roses here, and roses, like I keep saying, is talking about romantic relationships, you know. And so I do feel like this is tied to a certain specific relationship, you know, and maybe somebody was healing something about themselves, and this could be you, and so they weren't available, or they just felt removed or isolated because of a past situation, or in the past this is their thing. I feel like it's like we could see the sunlight now because we've overcome, or we've been able to heal or come out of this isolating moment in order to create the vision or the thing here that we were wanting to create. And I feel like there is maybe a having to break out, a walk away from the past. you know, because I feel like whatever that was, it was not pleasant. And I'm seeing like the red cape here, which gives me the Eight of Cups in the traditional tarot, which indicates someone walking away from a situation. I'm also hearing blonde hair. I don't know what that means, but maybe someone has blonde hair. It could be a reference to some of you guys as well. But yeah, and so the red cape's giving me like Red Riding Hood. And so Red Riding Hood has to sort of explore in the forest and go through navigating the forest and exploring the journey. And so, like I said, with this fresh meat, it's like having to go through a process. I feel like there is a process here, working with another that's been quite thorny or challenging up until this point. And I don't know if you guys resonate, but it's like either this person is stepping outside of this energy to work with you, let you in, or if you're now sort of allowing someone into this world. But either which way, I feel like it is around being able to manifest and create something through a way of being able to express and come out maybe for the first time in some way here. Let me just clarify, because I don't know necessarily that I'm getting all of this. Let's use this. Spirit, for this Ace of Wands energy for pile number 2, what is this about for 2025? Yeah, someone in the past, or someone was really hurt, you know, and maybe they needed to heal, but they're coming out of their healing, or they're dealing with some past situation that left them heartbroken or isolated that they had to resolve in some way. Queen of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, and there's the 3 cups. So I feel like there's an energy here of someone who is coming out and embracing some form of truth in regards to some situation of the past that made them feel maybe like they were incapable or not deserving of love, or didn't feel worthy, beautiful, or empowered to. And I feel like there is this coming out of the Hermit, because this is the opposite. This is us removed, being isolated, and this is us networking, letting people in, coming together, being celebrated rather than not being celebrated or seen. And so I feel like 2025 is really talking about manifesting a new version, a more healed version, one that's not so hidden or isolated. And so we're allowing people to see us. So if this is your energy then, or someone you're dealing with, you know, it's like we're now able to see brighter days ahead. We're now able to move from a past situation that's been a struggle or a challenge or too heavy. And we're now able to see more of this side that is allowing us to celebrate and connect rather than be held back or feeling the heaviness here. And so I feel like this is maybe in regards to communicating about past situations that have been challenging or a struggle. It's like I'm willing to communicate or talk about the darkness or the part of myself that's been needing to be healed, you know, and welcoming and letting people in. So let's keep going and see how we overlap here with the energy. We have the Ace of Rings, which is the Ace of Pentacles, and it says first date. So let's see what's going on here with the Ace of Pentacles for pile number 2, Spirit. Ace of Rings, Ace of Pentacles. So this is the more practical world here. And let's pull one of these. Ace of Pentacles here for pile number 2. Okay. So 8 Pentacles, and we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. So Pentacles could be talking about work, and we see 8 Pentacles, which is the work card. So I feel like there is a practical effort being put in here, a consistent, dedicated practical effort in an area where something might have been very stuck and fixed, and maybe, yeah, it's something that seemed very heavy and stuck and fixed in some way. And I'm seeing two people again, which is really getting two people along the way of this whole sort of reading here. You know, maybe somebody was, I don't know, like bringing you into their pain or bringing you into some form of unhealed version of themselves, or maybe you've been unhealed and someone's been sort of by your side. But I feel like it's been a long formation of having to work through something difficult, like putting in that energy and that effort, dedicated and consistently here, because again, with that fresh meat, I felt like it was something from raw state. So raw stone needing to be formed, you know, through time. Like I feel like there was a lot of time invested, and maybe it was time you invested in forming yourself into some version of yourself that was able to represent you in a more clear way. But I feel like this is the practical effort, the showing up, putting in the work towards coming out or being seen for the version of myself that I want to be seen as, despite the heaviness or the challenge. So there was a need for self-love and a need to feel worthy of love here. So this is coming through as somebody here who might not have connected to a part of knowing how much love they deserve and shutting themselves out from the world and feeling, I don't know, like really stuck in a situation in which I feel there's like a partnership here to resolve this or look at this or work with this in a more practical way throughout something that's still developing. But at least there's this like working together, being let in. Because I feel like whoever this person is that's feeling maybe unlovable might have felt this way because of a challenge and might have hid from the world, is really what I feel. And so there's this, with the Magician and this 8 Pentacles, is like now making a reality around how can we deal with, or how can we explore love in a different way and let people in or be celebrated and understand this thing. And we have first dates. So it's like, yeah, like even the 2 hearts here. So if you weren't letting someone in because you felt more comfortable on your own, because you were hurt, I feel like there's an understanding or realization that it's safe to move forward, or it's safe to explore, it's safe to travel towards this thing that maybe there was a lot of concern around getting hurt, or that you've been hurt in the past, or had a lot of uncertainty around because there's an inability to love self or let someone in to love us. And so I feel like we're focused, we're committed, and we're dedicated here towards this. And I feel like we understand now, or see the palace or the potential beauty that can come out of our old energy, because the old energy, I feel, was not good. It was not reflective of us going after what we want, or being valued or seen or loved or cared for. And so if you were dealing with someone who didn't appreciate you, or who didn't let you in, or just they were hurt in the past and they didn't know their value, it's like now we can work together on this. We can now explore for the first time, you know, the sweeter side of this in a more practical way, which means it's happening, it's manifesting. It's no longer just hidden in the surface here with the murky waters, or exploring, you know, the emotions. It's now exploring in the pentacle realm what this could be. And I do feel this is like a first in stepping towards this energy. You know, I know this one's more around the relationship, but like I said, it's going to be the strongest energy pulling through. And I do feel this one is the relationship, you know, even though we do see 8 Pentacles, I feel like this is the effort and the dedication towards molding a situation which seemed very fixed and stuck to being more defined. And like helping someone, or someone helping you, or showing their commitment to you and helping mold a situation here. I do feel, again, for this, I do want to clarify, because sometimes, like I say, maybe I'm seeing something that, I don't know, could have something I'm not seeing. So I just want to see, Let's pull this. Okay. Am I missing anything for this Ace of Pentacles? One more. Ace of Pentacles for group number 2. What's going on in the practical world for 2025? The Eight of Cups and the Hierophant. Yeah, someone was in a situation here which wasn't pleasant. Emotionally, they were not happy, because we can't be happy in isolation or removed or going through a 3 swords. And I feel someone's coming out of that in order to show a level of commitment with the Eight of Pentacles and this Hierophant. This is all about commitment and dedication and our understanding of something we want to value here, but it would require us to leave a state that wasn't emotionally happy. And so I feel like someone was blocked off in the heart space and is putting towards a lot of effort towards this healing work, like practical effort towards this, so that their material world can shift when it comes to this partnership or this experience. But I feel like because this pulled through in the 2025 and it's really the relationship, I feel like it changes the whole lifestyle. Like this person's whole lifestyle will change as a result of the effort they're putting towards healing a part of themselves that was shut out. And I feel like they were shut out for quite some time, not allowing love in, you know, or not seeing how they're worthy of love, or being able to open their heart space to give love, because they were emotionally dissatisfied in an experience that held them hostage or kept them isolated or not seeing their value. And someone comes in here to share in the pain in some way, or to work on the thing that was stuck, or to define the thing, because I feel there's a definition here of something that felt almost insurmountable or very fixed, and there's a commitment to this effort, and there's a seeing and working with where there's still maybe blockages or pain or hurts, but there's a moving forward from that, not being hindered by it, not being stuck by it, because there's a vision of what could be more optimal. And I feel there's a lightness here, you know, there's now working with that raw material in order to create. So I think 2025 is going to be creating from the raw material, creating from the stuckness, creating from the pain, something more beautiful, something more, more defined, something we could commit to. And we're being let in, or we're celebrating this process. But I don't think it fully turns into the utopian thing just yet. But I feel like there's a pivotal point here and a breakthrough and a realization that now this raw thing, you know, the raw pain or the situation in which it was very fixed with someone who might have been very removed, or my past partner who wasn't letting me in, or things were not really certain, is now workable, is now something that becomes my lifestyle here, you know. And I feel like there is a very consistent energy here. I'm seeing the Taurus, which is all about luxury, and it could be a commitment of stable, almost like to a stubbornness here, a dedicated, fixed energy that's pulling through here, you know, that might have been lacking here, but leaving behind the past. And the past was not fulfilling in any way, because it was something that was very challenging here and very murky. So let's take a look then. Ace of Cups, since this whole reading was around this more emotions and partnership. And it says first kiss. So first date and first kiss. So I feel like for the first time there's an experience here with someone, you know, and this could be someone, like I said, who's been already in your life, or that you know. I don't feel as though, if this is someone new, it's like, because I was able to break out of the past, I'm now able to be, you know, back on the market here and let people in and experience this first sort of connection in my life that I haven't. You know, like I said, for some of you guys, it's a renewal in a connection. And for some of you guys, it is a person you've been dealing with, maybe that was shut out, or you've been shut out, and so it's been difficult to let someone in. But you guys got to sort of pick which route you are, because I'm tapped into all of these frequencies here. But I feel like either which way, it's a liberation of, because wherever things were stuck, wherever things were not good, we're now moving out of that. So we got the 6 swords, and we're moving out of the choppy waters, the waters I was seeing here that weren't good, in order for us to share something different and experience something different and move towards something that's less turbulent. So for pile number 2, with this Ace of Cups, what is 2025 bringing in? Yeah, so 6 swords and the High Priestess in reverse, Pisces energy. We have the Owl. Just giving me Queen Swords type energy as well. And then we have the Lovers in reverse. So, beautiful angels. I feel like when it comes to the Ace of Cups here, because the Ace of Cups, like I was saying, this is talking about our emotions, but it's like the love we have of self, the value we see of self, the ability to fill one's own cup, I feel like has been a challenge here with either someone you're dealing with or for yourself. And this is the energy in which we weren't able to see or allow ourselves to work with our intuition because of a block. And so it didn't allow a partnership to move ahead or be pursued. But 2025 is the clarity or the vision through something, the understanding through adversity that the pathway is available, okay, and that we can move towards it. But the only way to move towards it is by walking away or leaving a past situation that would require us to embrace some form of intuition and some form of knowing, some understanding that I think has been really, really trapped here. So I think we're moving away from uncertainties. We're moving away from not listening to the intuition. We're moving away from something that I feel was really stuck with the Stone. It was like I couldn't date, or I couldn't let people in, or I was dealing with someone who wasn't letting me in, or I didn't know where this was going, or I felt very blocked and stuck. It's like we're moving out of that energy. We're no longer going to feel like trapped or stuck or like the path ahead of us is blocked by the past of the pain, or the pains of the past, I should say. Okay, so we have Gemini and Pisces energy here with the High Priestess. But I feel like we were in the dark, or we were shut out from relationship. And I feel like the past keeps pulling through here. So the past with this person was so challenging, and I've had one experience, and so that my future was unknown or unseen, and the future was always hindered because of the past. And if it's me, then it's my past hindered my future, my ability to move with someone here. And so we don't want to be in that 5 swords energy, nor are we going to be in the 5 swords energy, but I feel like it's a slow row out of that. You know, like we slowly have to row ourselves out of that. And I feel like the 2 people, I think you and this person are rowing each other out. But I feel like that's the bulk of 2025, is like a slow roll out of that energy. Let's see, we're going to get clarity here then for the Ace of Cups. I feel it is about you and someone overcoming some big challenge in their world or your own world. And you're not alone. Either which way, whether you're the one helping or the one sort of rowing. But I feel like it is 2 people, 2 hearts, 2 people overcoming something, opening some pathway that was very fixed and stuck, defining something, committing, dedicating day in, day out, embracing some form of, I don't know, like new way of seeing something in order for there to be movement. 3 cups again. So for some of you guys, person of the past, it didn't work with them. There's a reconciliation. If you don't want it to be a person of the past, it doesn't have to be. Okay, but that's for those of you guys resonating with a partner here who it didn't work because this person was either really shut down or it wasn't the right time for you because you weren't healed. But I feel like there is an experience, and it could be that this person broke your heart, you know, or you experienced pain with this person, or it's been very challenging. All those scenarios are pulling through, but this is reconciliation. This is coming together. This is allowing ourselves to be celebrated, appreciated, okay, and letting people in. And yeah, I feel like in the past, it might not have been the thing. So Ace of Pentacles. And look how abundant this is. This is giving me Empress energy because of all of the fruit here, which is unconditional love and knowing our self-worth and understanding healthy boundaries, filling our own cup, and making this a reality with the Pentacles again. Okay, I'm also getting magician energy here from the number 1, which also pulled through. So it's like I'm able to manifest here something practical, and it's like the seed now is in the practical world. It was something that never existed, I feel, with all the firsts happening. So maybe there was an understanding of love, or there was too much pain from the past that we couldn't plant this seed. But I feel like now we're manifesting, we've reconciled, or we've been able to move past something that was very hurtful and manifest something very abundant here. And it's the beginning hope of this thing, you know, that's very promising. And I feel like we're no longer sort of stuck or unknowing of what the future path could be because of a hindrance of an experience of the past, and have this beautiful new beginning, you know. So yeah, I feel like that's the theme of what we're dealing with. So let's use the oracle cards here and see what pulls through, either confirming some of this or if anything else pulls through for pile number 2, Spirit. What does pile 2 need to know then about this theme for 2025? We have lightning, number 13. So 13 is transformation, Scorpio energy, and we see the egg, which is all about rebirth. It's hatching. So this is new beginning. So I feel like we're being born to a new beginning, but we have to shed something here with the snake, and the shedding of the old way of connecting with a relationship, or the old idea of this person, or a lot of healing had to happen in order for there to be a rebirth. And I feel like it's taken some time, or it will take time here, because this is 2025. I think it's the process of the rebirth, you know. But I think with this lightning and this 8 of Wands, this is something very sudden. This is sudden that happens. And I feel like I'm also getting early in the year. You know, this is something that happens very early in the year, maybe very suddenly for a lot of you guys. And we start to make headway here. And I feel like whoever here was not healed or was needing to shed some part of the past has been someone who's been very defensive and maybe very protective of allowing themselves to open up, or have an experience here for the first time of allowing you in, or you allowing someone in. So even if you have a past with this person or an experience, I feel like you haven't been able to experience this person on the level of maybe what it was that you always thought you could, you know, with a destined future. We see swans. Swans for me represent our soulmate or twin flame with the swans. Okay, those are 2 different types of connections. We don't have to identify with label, but I feel like it's our other person here who we can experience a future. It's a destined partnership that wasn't moving, or got stuck, or got stunted because someone was either very defensive or needing to heal or understand or go through an experience with the owl. You know, it's like the experience has taught me something that I know about myself now, and now I can move forward, or now I can deal with this thing that's been very stuck. And yeah, and either let people in or just reconcile where there's been challenge. Yeah, a lot of healing around this through experience, you know, and understanding where we might have been very defensive. So Spirit, for pile number 2, what else for this 2025 energy? We have endurance with rock. We were feeling that with the rock here. And I was feeling like throughout the whole thing, like a consistent persistency of perseverance, you know. And so with endurance, it's like, I don't know, maybe you've been really trying to get out of that state if you were hurt and you couldn't find a way out of the isolation, or healing the heart, or walking away with the 8 cups of something. But I feel like through your endurance, through your persistence, you're able to form your version of self, or create something of someone that was very fixed in some way that seemed like it was unmovable. But the persistency here allows something to develop into this beautiful healthy tree. And trees are all about stability, planting roots, getting grounded. You know, it's about the health of something here. It's also family. And so I was feeling that at the beginning, because this is family commitment. Okay, the stability of something here, but also it's emotional. I feel like it's also in a practical way. And with the Hierophant, I thought we had Hierophant, did we not? Yes, we do. It's like committing ourselves to the stability of something here that grows into something very healthy. Yeah, and a foundation that's not shakeable. So we have 2, and 2s are all about balance, duality, and choices. Lover is about choice. So there was a choice, you know, and I feel like the choice becomes very clear about what it is that's going to create the stability and becoming into balance with something that might have been very out of balance. And twos are also the high priestess. And so I feel like wherever we were in the blind, or wherever we weren't seeing maybe, or working with the intuition, or being allowed to sort of see past a certain point, we're now coming into some form of balance and stability through the persistent effort, you know, and commitment and dedication. Like this rock, I feel like it's very solid energy that's pulling through here. So let's see, Spirit, for pile number 2 then, what other energy is pulling through here for 2025? And we have Mercury, Saturn. So Mercury is the planet of communication, words, and that is the Magician, which we saw here. Virgo, Gemini energy, 24, or the number 6, which is lovers, Gemini. So the choice coming through to maybe express oneself. And Saturn is all about endurance, because Saturn's a very sort of heavy planet when it comes to commitment, dedication, and maybe having to sacrifice certain things in order to attain, and being committed and dedicated. So I feel like there is a change when it comes to self-expression and committing oneself to being able to be heard and seen, and maybe where there was a big challenge around someone expressing themselves and that sort of thing. I think through the efforts, there is an understanding here of an area where there was no seeing, or maybe where communication was shut down. And I feel like where we couldn't manifest as well in the 3D, because we were lacking communication, or we were lacking the know-how, or we were lacking because of the pain, or we're lacking the vision, the foresight, or being shut out because we weren't being welcomed, or the other way around. We couldn't manifest because we weren't welcoming and we were shut down. I feel like there's this persistent dedication towards manifesting something new for the first time in this world that we can celebrate now, that we overcome. I feel there's a big celebration in overcoming something here that's been very stuck, you know, been very rock-like, but it creates the stability, and it's reborn from a process here where something was very defensive. Venus, 29. So I feel like this is really giving me, you and this other person, because I do feel there's another person here, totally connect on some level here, but it's not only on the inside, which I feel is the emotions. I feel the Venus is sort of the outside manifestation. It's the beauty we feel for each other is seen and understood with the Mercury here. And I feel like with Mercury, it is, what I'm seeing here is like sometimes through words, it's like what's not being said, you know, that might have the most impact, or the unspoken, or be very sort of in tune with certain parts of the expression that isn't said, or is felt but unseen, or that hasn't manifested. Here I feel like there is this understanding and this like manifestation of the unspoken. And I feel like there is a lot of love and a lot of beauty here with Venus. And I'm also picking up on this Taurus energy again, because Venus is the ruling planet for Taurus, you know, and so that's luxury, and there's this like committed dedication that's outwardly seen. And I don't feel like it always has to be through words, but through an effort of what's being shown and manifested, maybe where it wasn't, or maybe where we couldn't see the love, maybe the love of ourselves or the love of another here is now being seen. And I feel like it's reciprocated, and I feel like there's a lot of beauty that we see in another that's being seen and reflected back to us. We have the number 11. 11 is a master number. That's divine inspiration. Synchronicity is also the encouragement to keep going, which is endurance. So I feel like, yeah, a challenging person situation, or I'm very challenged to be seen, you know, or to have someone reflect back to me the love I feel inside, whether it will be or won't. It's like it will be here, you know, and I feel like it's also talking about Libra energy, which is balance, you know, just situations getting balanced out. So it's like what I put out, I sort of get now, and I'm realizing this, you know, or this person that was imbalanced that I felt was, I don't know, maybe I wasn't seen, or maybe there was something missing in regards to communication or being understood, is now coming to the surface to be seen. to be appreciated on both sides, to create some sort of justice where we experience injustice because there's a lot of pain or stuck energy through persistence and commitment and dedication. But I feel like where we're aiming and where we're directing ourselves now is to this beautiful 10 of Cups energy from something that's been very stagnant and not good. Okay, so let's see, Spirit, what else for pile number 2 then in regards to 2025? Then we have Moon and Taurus. We were getting a lot of Taurus energy, self-esteem, personal growth. Number 14, more balance with the Temperance, because balance really came through, and healing. So if this is your energy, or someone you're with, because I feel like this is someone very close to you, okay? Like, you got to know, like I said, which one you fall into, or maybe both of you guys are reflecting this. This is a year of healing and coming into balance, working on self-esteem in order to be able to connect with someone else and be seen and appreciated. And there is a healing process of staying committed to being seen and working through challenge and pain, which allows you to grow despite the fears. It's working through a lot of subconscious pains, but I feel like we find the gem, we find the pearl through the difficult process of maybe having to expose yourself or work through with someone that's been very difficult up until now and is very time consuming, or the difficulty. It's like we form this beautiful pearl over time that now we're seen and being welcomed, and it's a beautiful thing that we can see here through the agitation over a circumstance that seemed like maybe it wasn't going to form, but it had to be a consistency here that would shape this pearl, and it wasn't pleasant. But I feel like in 2025 we see the fruits of the pearl, we see the formation of what is beautiful, and it creates the stability, and it creates something very beautiful, and it also heals. Okay, but I feel like, again, two people coming together to create something of beauty and to really face the fear of that part in which I have to deal with something that's been painful, or I have to walk away from a version of myself that was experiencing something unpleasant, and maybe me being hermit and removed for so long, feeling I wasn't deserving, was not emotionally pleasant. And it's like I'm now able to row with someone out of that energy to create this beautiful pearl, and despite maybe having to, like I said, like do something that might be fearful or take a chance that we might not. I do feel the bottom of that one. I do feel one more for beautiful pile number 2. Spirit, what is pulling through here energetically? Final cards for you guys. Pile number 2. Did I call you pile 4? Pile 2. Chakras. 7. So yeah, this is healing the blocks in the chakras and getting aligned and getting balanced. So you and your person, I feel, are aligning here. And I feel like there's a lot of energy that's being cleansed here with the tree too. Ancestral wounds, healing. 7 is faith, wisdom, reflection. Understanding is chariot energy, finding balance. Loved ones in spirit. Number 2 pulling through again, or number 20. So divinely guided, okay? Guided by loved ones, guided by your guides, by spirit. I feel like there is connecting to spirituality, connecting to energy, trusting in the guidance that we're being offered. And we're able to see through certain things that maybe we weren't able to see in the past, like lies about ourselves with the self-esteem, or things that we might have saw in one way and now we're seeing it completely different. The more aligned we get, the more healed we get, the more balanced we get. Lovers coming through again. Gemini energy, 21, or the number 3. So 3 is about growth, 3 is about relationships. 3 is Empress energy, which is unconditional love. And we see these two people again kissing. So I feel like despite there being unknowns, or maybe not seeing clearly with the moon, having fear or having to dig up a lot of the pains of the subconscious in the past and the hurts of the past, it's like we're still able to connect, or choose to connect, or to come together here in the path of the lovers, the destined partner here that's pulling through very strong. So I feel this 2025 is a year of partnership, a year of healing, a year of balance, and really being welcomed, or working with someone? You know, are you allowing someone else to be worked in through your world when it comes to, I really feel, as family, romance, emotional happiness, being guided, the purest self coming out, seeing through illusions of our self-doubt, illusions of our own self-value, and coming out where we might have been hidden from the world because of pain, and feeling more like ourselves and seeing parts of ourself in color, you know, where we were maybe hiding and feeling out of balance. So beautiful pile number 2, this is your reading. Beautiful reading. If you're drawn to another pile, I will see you there. And I'd like to take this time to thank your spirit guides and spirit for allowing me to channel this message. And I hope you guys have a beautiful new year, and Merry Christmas for those of you guys watching at the time of this post. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 3. You guys pick the Ace of Sacred Circles. This is the Ace of Pentacles. And we're looking at your 2025 year, the highlights, okay? And we're looking at 4 areas in your sort of set of circumstances here, and see what pulls through. So it's going to be the strongest energy pulling through, and these generally overlap, okay? But the intention here is to look at swords, which is the thoughts, the ideas, the expression, things we take action on, or certain, like understandings we might come into for 2025. Maybe major discussions we might have. And then we're looking at the Ace of Wands, which is our passions, what we're pulled to, what we're inspired to take action on, our career, maybe our passion projects, that sort of thing. And then with Pentacles, it's the practical world, maybe where we live, or what sort of action we're taking, maybe where we work, our finances, that sort of thing. And then we'll look at the Ace of Cups, which is our relationships, our emotions, the spiritual side, things that speak to our heart, that connect to us on an emotional level. Okay, so relationships with people, or certain connections we might have to certain things that emotionally tie to us. So let's take a look at these 4 areas. And like I said, sometimes it's one thing that sort of pulls through, coming out across all areas, but we'll see. And let's just move that over here. Let us take a look at, I don't feel these ones, I feel this one. Let's take a look at your Ace of Swords then for 2025 for pile number 3, Spirit. What's coming through for their ideas, their thoughts, any form of self-expression, understandings that pile 3 is going to come into, any sort of awareness. Wow, you guys got 3 of those, and we'll pull one of these. Okay, let's see. 4 Cups and 5 Pentacles in reverse, and Page of Swords, and the 10 Cups. Okay, so what does this tell me? I feel like you guys are coming out of a situation that you've done a lot of emotional healing. And I feel like emotionally maybe has been something that's been unfulfilling, or you're coming out of a period that was very draining when it comes to taking a lot of your emotions. So I feel like you've been working a lot on self-love, or how to love yourself, or how to connect to yourself in a way here that gets you out of past states or past situations in which might have been keeping you feeling lack, like maybe relationships that were not getting along, or maybe feeling emotionally desolate because of your set of circumstances. It could be financially, you felt like things weren't rewarding, or just like you had to make do with what you have. But I feel like it wasn't fulfilling, and I feel like there's an understanding here. And I feel like you're empowered and coming out of a period of where you've been held back, or where you've been reflecting, or maybe not taking charge, or maybe not understanding certain parts of yourself. And now it's like, okay, I understand now. Like, I understand what emotional happiness for me looks like. I know what my future ideal state would be and what that would look like. And I'm willing to move towards this state. I gotta put the B because we see nudity here in the YouTube was going to call them something else, YouTube people. Okay, they don't like nudity, but yeah, so I feel it's you. I was going to say fighting, because I do feel there's a fighting energy of you, but it's like, I'm no longer going to sit back. I'm no longer going to stay in situations that don't feel good for me financially or practically, because your environment around you isn't reflective of what you want. And I feel it's not emotionally doing it for you. And I feel like you've been hiding or waiting for the perfect time or reflecting on what that looked like or will look like. And now it's like, I understand and I can see. And now not only do I understand and see, I'm willing to step forward and make this a reality for me. So I feel like there's a lot of truth that's being communicated. There's a lot of truth that you're now seeing. There's a lot of coming to terms with what does happiness look like. There's a lot of no longer hiding in the shadow, or no longer sitting in the background, or no longer unsure of what sort of happiness could mean, or putting up with situations that are desolate. So if you're in an unhappy job, it's like, no, I'm gonna do what it takes here to get myself out and be honest with myself and be honest with the situation. You know, if this is like a city you don't want to live in, it's like, I no longer want to live there. But I feel like it's something that weighed heavily, something you were trying to make do. Maybe you kept trying to keep it together. Like, I'll stay at this job because it keeps paying my bill. And so I'm trying to make it together. Or maybe it's a marriage, you know, or maybe it's like a relationship or something where it's like still putting the pieces together just to keep it together. But it's like, you're just juggling the pieces to keep it together. It's like, I no longer want to just get by. I no longer want to put up with scraps. I no longer want to be sort of there, because emotionally I've had to sit and reflect and understand what emotionally feeds me, you know, and fulfills me. And it's now about me. And so I feel like the decisions you make, the understanding you have, is aligned with what makes you happy, not everyone else, not the situation, not putting up with what you're dealt with and having to make do. It's like, I'm going to go after and understand what full fulfillment is here, because there's an optimal state that you understand could be for you. Yeah, it's beautiful energy. Okay, so let's see what your Ace of Wands is then showing. So this is your passions, your desires, your inspiration, passion projects you might be moving towards, taking inspired action, direction. I feel like it's a year of empowerment. Like, I'm really seeing the crown, we get empowered, the sun, we have certainty and clarity around this. It's like, what do I want to manifest? Because I'm the creator of my manifestation. You know, really driven by your reflection of that Ace of Cups. My own emotional happiness is what's driving me. Fulfilling my own cup is really the vision you have here, the thing that moves you, the thing that's making you move. So what's with this Ace of Wands then for pile number 3, Spirit? Okay. We see the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, situation wasn't paying it for you. I don't know what it was. For a lot of you guys, it could be work with the Pentacles here, but it's a practical, maybe living arrangement or a practical thing every day in, day out that you were giving to, trying to work with the scraps, or it was broken and you knew it, or it never paid forward. It was a job that didn't pay you enough. It was a relationship that didn't value enough. It was something that was taking more of your energy than what it was worth. Okay. And here we have the Queen of Pentacles and the 5 Swords. So we have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. I feel like you lean into your own resources and you're no longer having to share the resources with other people and things. So if you're a really good, let's say, accountant, you no longer want to invest in an accounting firm that's not paying you well enough. If you're in a relationship here, like this is the single mom card though, so I don't know, maybe where you were having to give to other people, you know, like in some way, or if you were in a relationship, like I said, whatever it is, it's like you're now holding to yourself. Like you're no longer going to go out of your way to invest. You're now saying like, well, is my resource, or I'm the one who needs this sort of energy in order for me to fulfill something. So why would I give it out, or why would I give it freely? And yeah, because I feel there's an understanding and you driving towards getting yourself out of any situation with people that put you in a position of a disadvantage. It's like you recognize, I am in a disadvantage in this thing, and I don't want to do that no more. So that's really the driver. You have clarity around the right job, the right people, the right situations, where it's like, I don't want to have to give. I don't want to have to be relying on that situation in a way where they're the ones that are taking from me and I can't pull from it. So I want something I can, like stand on my own and be able to not have to sort of, what's the word, like give of myself, keep for myself and create for myself without sacrificing myself. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys either quit a job or quit some sort of thing in your world, even if it means being independent and on your own. I think that is your vision and what is driving you and what you have clarity around. So you get a spark of what it feels like to be on your own. And being on your own gets you further ahead, or relying on yourself gets you further ahead. And being in that situation is slowing you down, and it's creating conflict for you. And you might have been very sort of conflicted about how to resolve this, or, like choosing yourself. But I feel like 2025 is like, no, I'm choosing myself. Like, I'm capable here. I'm empowered here. And I see clearly my own value. So I'm no longer going to play it small or pretend to be in this world, that's not giving back to me in a way here. So yeah, if you guys do pursue your own, accounting firm, or if you do pursue being single from a relationship that maybe you are giving to, or I don't know, whatever it is here, but I feel like there's a great strength of cutting yourself off from things that don't give you back value. So let's see what the Ace of Pentacles and what's this practical thing all about. Career, finance, where you live, who you live with, what you do day in, day out, with this Ace of Pentacles for pile number 3, Spirit. Let's pull one of these. Ace of Pentacles for pile number 3. What's going on in their practical world? Wow, quite a bit here. So I think in the practical world, there's going to be a lot of changes, because I was feeling in your environment, like Pentacle, like we said, that was really pulling through, because whatever you were surrounding yourself with day in, day out, I feel like is not doing it for you, and might have been like this for some time. Eight of Cups, something that was very difficult to walk away from here with the Eight of Cups in reverse. There's the Queen of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius in reverse. The 9 Cups in reverse. What do we pull? Let's pull one of these. It says thrive. There's enough space for the moon and her stars not to tear each other down. Wow, thrive. So getting that from the crown and the sun, and you coming into your power. And like, it's like, despite all those things, that job, those people, it's like, I'm now going to be in my big light, because I'm emotionally unsatisfied. 8 of Cups in reverse and the 9 Cups in reverse, emotionally unsatisfied. 6 of Swords, coming out of that situation, and then the 4 Cups, unsatisfied. So this Queen of Swords in reverse, I think in the past, there might have been a lack of clarity and understanding about how to get yourself out of a situation that I feel has left you feeling cold in regards to emotions, because it wasn't emotionally fulfilling. We felt empty or just bored or not tapped in, and it's been difficult to leave that situation, or we didn't understand or see clearly how to move out of a situation. But I feel like we were emotionally unhappy, and I feel like what we're doing here is we're coming into our own ability to leave a situation, like actually move out of this, take practical action away, so that we can align ourselves with something that is fulfilling, that is more in line with that area of our world, which, like I said, for some of you guys is a job, but it's something that is in your practical day in, day out. It's something you've been committing to or investing in for some time, and it's not, it's not paying you, and it's no longer producing. So how long would we stay there for, you know? I feel like there's just no more desire there to entertain it, and we might have had to really cut it out and just no longer deal with it. So I feel for a lot of you guys, you just cut it out. I'm seeing a lot too with the nudity here. I think we're able to have a raw discussion and be vulnerable and admit something here, maybe that we were having a hard time seeing or wanting to admit. You know, maybe we were avoiding seeing it, or maybe we just didn't want to be mean, or I don't know. But I feel like the ruthless side of you being honest and taking action towards dealing with something that wasn't fulfilling is on the table here for 2025. And that's what you sort of work towards, you know? So let's see now with this Ace of Cups, what pulls through here. Which one do we want? This one? No. Let's pull this one and this one. Okay. So, Ace of Cups, Spirit, for pile number 3. What's going on here for 2025 for pile number 3 when it comes to their emotions, their spirituality, and things they love, emotional fulfillment, a relationship. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, new beginning, and the Three of Cups. So yeah, you guys are exploring a new beginning, and I think it's coming true in a practical way because you make a practical decision to leave something behind, and you're entering this new world. So I think 2025 is going to be a new world of experiencing in a practical way something that actually embraces your truest self here with the Three Cups. We're appreciated, we're loved, we get to celebrate, we get to experience happiness rather than a Four Cups here, which is, you know, more of a, it doesn't do it for me, to I'm having fun, I'm being celebrated, I'm enjoying myself. And I feel this is very different for you, you know, like you're leaving a world that wasn't in that environment and taking the practical steps to go through this new doorway in order to see this. So I think it's just the beginning, you know, the beginning of maybe good friendships, the beginning of, yeah, like them appreciating your fullness here as you are and how you are. And it's reciprocated in a way here that you feel is welcoming and able to be celebrated. But I do feel like it's a new beginning of this journey and closing out something here that might be transitionary. But I feel like your aim, this 10 Cups, is like, I know what I want from all of that reflecting. And you definitely move, if not closer to the end of the year, I feel here, into aligning yourself with the right people and feeling like yourself and not needing to play small or be held back, and collaborating here so you're not the one carrying all the weight. But I think there was hesitancy, or at least there was a not knowing what was on the other side at one point, and then there's like cutting off a situation that just emotionally, you know, was the reason why you couldn't experience this. So I am going to pull a clarifier here for this Ace of Cups to see if we can get some more in this Cups area of your world here. Spirit, for pile number 3 in this area, I feel it's like not as heavy is what I feel. Queen of Swords, yeah, now she's in the upright because now she can see clearly and now she understands. It's like whatever you were in, you have to cut it out in order to see clearly. And it's like, I understand my past situation now. And through that experience, I now understand myself. And I'm now able to know what it is that I want. Seven of Swords, yeah, I'm honest. Like I was saying, there's an honesty here now. It's like I'm able to speak a truth that maybe I was biting my tongue or unable to communicate because I had to toe the line or keep this job or pretend to be small. But now through my experience, I have to be honest. So a truth comes out, and the truth that comes out now allows me to be more clear about what I want for the future, and I want something very different, and I want to leave the past behind. And I no longer want to be hidden either, because I feel like in this state you're either hidden or not experiencing something of yourself, being seen, enjoying yourself, you know, enjoying the finer things in life for how you are. And this is what comes through here for 2025. So that's the theme. Let's now pull some oracles and see if we could build on this or see some more energy that pulls through for you guys. Beautiful pile 3 for 2025. Wise Salt. That's the Queen of Swords. Through my experience, I've come to an understanding. And we have to experience it before we fully understand it, rather than just intellectualize it. It's now my perspective has changed, because in the past, maybe I thought I had to give to something, or only was limited with what I had to work with, or I had to work at this job, or I had to do this thing. It's like now I know I don't have to. I see things differently, and there's a whole array of possibilities for me now. You know, there's different jobs, different people, different ways I could be celebrated. I see myself differently through this tough experience and this understanding that I have. And this is 28, or the number 10. And so 10 is all about transformation. 10 is also completions, ends of cycles, which I was feeling here. Like we're putting this behind us. And 10 is also the Wheel of Fortune. So where I was not making enough money, I'm now turning the circumstances to make more money. You know, or wherever I was feeling down and out, I'm now feeling welcomed. I'm now feeling like my light is brighter. It's also the Sun, which is clarity, certainty, which I feel was lacking here. We were lacking clarity and certainty, maybe seeing a great truth. And now we see clearly with the Sun energy, what makes us happy, what brings us joy, what isn't emotionally depleting. Okay, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius pulling through, very strong. And we have Mercury and Jupiter. Look at that. So Wheel of Fortune was pulling through, Jupiter pulling through. So set of circumstances. If you were in a job that doesn't pay you well, you're now aligning yourself with not only a job that pays you well, but I feel emotionally it allows you to be in your brightest light and still get paid like a lot. This Jupiter is luck. It is like big energy here. Okay, it's a lot of abundance. And I feel like well, Jupiter represents Sagittarius and Pisces, because I feel like the Sagittarius is going after, and the Pisces is this like more dreamy type energy. But that's probably why it came through in your cups. It's like something speaks to your heart emotionally, and it's like a vision or a dream of what I wished my environment to be. And so I need to take aim towards that dream job or that dream thing that makes me feel like I'm in my own energy, because what I have experienced here is not me. And so I have to take action on this understanding, or speak a truth here. Queen of Swords is all about communicating. So Mercury as well is about communication, and Mercury is the Magician, which is manifesting. So I manifest in the practical way, this new beginning, this abundance I want to see. 23 is the number 5. 5 is all about challenge, but having to rebuild. So maybe we had to quit a job in order to rebuild ourselves, but it's like it emotionally wasn't satisfying. So I have no qualms in cutting something out, because it wasn't providing me the clarity, or I was investing more than it was giving. And so now I'm honest and can communicate and see where the abundance is, and get more clear about how to rebuild this part of my world. But I feel like it's the beginning of this with this Ace of Pentacles, home and earth. Yeah, you find a place to hang your hat. You find your people. You find your calling. You find what is authentic. You're no longer investing in what's not. And it becomes a reality with earth and with this Mercury. It's like it gets manifested in the 3D. It gets grounded in reality with this earth. And it's security, you know, with the home. It's welcoming with the home. You feel in place, not out of place. 15 is Devil, because I still feel like that 5 is that challenge, that devil, the thing that held you back maybe in 2024, or maybe you're going into 2024 with something holding you back, or feeling like it's chaining you to it, and you're feeling like it's not paying you in way of abundance or finances. It's like we're cutting through this. We're no longer being chained by this devil, or feeling like the unhealthy habit we had with that thing, or the connection we had with it, is being cut away in order for us to find our home, you know, what we can call ourselves, what represents us. I'm getting heavy also Empress energy. So I feel you come into your divine Empress energy, and that's Jupiter, that abundance, it's like it pays it in great reward here, cutting off from the devil. Devils speak of illusion. So I feel like there was an illusion of who you think you need to be or how you were acting, which wasn't in line with your authenticity. And now it's like, no, now I know where I can hang my hat. Now I know what home feels like in this 10 cups. I know what it's like because I've reflected long enough and I know myself or connected to my cup. And I don't got to work with scraps or pick up pieces of broken things or put up with jobs that don't pay me for my value or my self-worth. Juggler. Yeah, so that's the 2 pentacles and putting up with scraps. Like I had to pick from all these different things, you know, maybe a job that was calling me to do certain things, but it never really felt fulfilling. Never really felt fulfilled in work or home or whatever. And look at this. We have home, money, weight, workout to the gym. We have a clock, shoes. So I feel like this is in all areas are going to be impacted by this alignment, because it's like, as long as I work here, I can't live the lifestyle I want, or I'm connected to this geography and I don't want to be here. And so I feel like with the home and this house, it's like my stability, what I can plan for the future is up in the air, as long as I don't ground the roots in something here that's been very minimal or has been not solidified, hasn't been giving to me. If some of you guys have been jobless, then it's like, now I know the type of job that I want to pursue, and I'm here on this side. It's clear to me. It's like I know what I don't want, so I don't waste my time maybe with dead-end jobs or looking for jobs that aren't really aligned with me, you know, or whatever the thing is that I feel has been up in the air because we weren't certain or we weren't understanding or clear about our own value or what it was we wanted to see or build. And now we have a good understanding, and it manifests here. And then everything sort of changes around that. Because I feel like the health of your spirituality, the health of your physical body is tied to this somehow. And I feel like it's been a long time coming. And I also feel like maybe it was something you really felt like couldn't go deep. It couldn't go deep because you weren't really sold to that, you know? So you couldn't be committed. You couldn't really choose it. And it was making you feel turbulent. Maybe it paid you a bit, but there was a part of that you really didn't like. Or maybe I don't know, a job was okay, but the location sucked, or the commute was just difficult, or the relationship had positive, but there was a lot that was you couldn't buy into emotionally or whatever. So I feel like there was either a positive and a negative, and it's like, no, I want a whole thing. And so you come very clear with the whole thing of what you need to do in order to attain everything that you want. You know, you don't got to settle. Because I feel like this pentacle is like you were dealing with the scraps, or saying, well, I guess this job like does this and that, but it doesn't do all these other things. It's not emotionally fulfilling, but it pays my bill. It's like, well, I can get both. And I've got to put up and risk one to attain the other. Moon and Scorpio transformation, a change in your emotional life, 20. 2 is all about choices, balance. Okay, so I feel like this transformation is one, like I said, that impacts the rest of your areas of your life by making this shift. Because I feel like emotionally, whatever you were dealing with was something that wasn't making you happy. And it really required you to take action, to get very clear and certain, to be honest with some part of your life that wasn't doing it anymore, that maybe you were trying to make happen for whatever reason. And you had to see through your fear, or had to get clear about what your circumstances are and become honest with these truths in order for things to really shift, and take action on choosing this change and this shift. Because I feel like, I feel like you were kind of silent. You know, you were putting up with things. I don't feel no more. I feel like the silence has ended, and you're taking accountability towards making that decision to pull yourself out, and then everything else sort of aligns here. And I feel like it really is something that you feel, like really aligns you. I do feel for you guys, I want kind of a closure here. What does pile number 3 need to know then about this? Because it seems like it's, I don't know, maybe it's your whole life is turned because of this one decision. But I want to see, what sort of questions does pile 3 have? Because I'm still questioning part of this reading for pile 3. What is it that pile 3 needs to know here in regards to 2025 energy? The Tower in reverse. So we didn't want to shake the foundation. And it could be that we were, like I said, like accepting something as it was, but it wasn't solid. And how can we build knowing a greater truth, but not taking action? So I feel like we might have not wanted to rock the boat or pull the rug from under this thing that was already created, you know, but we knew that there was no deep roots, or we knew we were unhappy with this foundation. And so we had to let this tower go in order to find something that is fulfilling. 2 cups. So this is something that gives us the same value we find in it. It's like a back and forth, and we could give to it and it gives to us, emotionally happy. And I feel like it delivers is what I feel with, I know that's not a stork, but I'm getting delivery. So with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, it's like I was giving, I was investing, and it wasn't giving. And now it's like I can give and I'm emotionally happy because I dealt with accepting something here that needed, yeah, look at that, the Queen of Wands. I feel like it's really empowering for you to choose yourself. And you see your value. You know that you're that prime, whatever, business person, accountant, beautiful person that deserves to be appreciated and valued. And I think you're also knowing your value when it comes to what you can attain, either through finances or wealth, or the caliber in which you provide needed to be reflected back to you. So there's an understanding here that's like, this situation isn't of my caliber. It isn't of my level. And so I have to embrace something here. And I feel with the orange, talking about the sacral, it's because there were blocks at one point in time that you might have thought you deserved to or had to stick to things that were not clear, or scraps, or just it was below your means. And you don't have to. You really don't have to. I feel like you're now keeping the past behind you, and you're now facing something here that really reflects back to you emotional happiness. And it's very balanced. It's not just you giving to something here. Yeah, it's a beautiful energy of you and your self-value. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you're empowered. And I feel like you're very certain, and you're no longer sort of playing small. And any sort of truth you need to embrace, the mask comes off, and you have no problems cutting people or things off here, and burning things off that might have at one point been things you were trying to juggle around or keep up just to appease other people or situations here. Meanwhile, you weren't getting your fulfillment. Okay, pile number 3. This is your reading for 2025. I'd like to take this time to thank your spirit guides and spirit for allowing me to channel this message. And I do want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas if you're watching at the time of the posting, a Happy New Year. If you're drawn to another pile, could be another energy here for you guys for 2025. And I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, hello, pile number 4. You guys picked the Ace of Cups. Absolutely beautiful. We're looking at all 4 areas sort of your world, or whatever pulls through here as the theme, because we can't possibly get into all the nuances, but the largest energy sort of pulls through this reading. And we will be tapping into the Ace of Swords, which is all about your thoughts, ideas coming through in way of action, or maybe understandings, maybe communications that are pivotal for 2025 in way of expression, or just major revelations you might be having here. And then we have the Ace of Wands. We'll be looking at your desires, your passions, anything that's maybe you're inspired to take action on. Could be your creative pursuits or your career pulling through. And then we have the Pentacle realm, which is career, finances, practical action in way of your work, maybe your relationships, or just where you live, or what you do in day out, sort of practical things happening around you. And then we'll be looking at the Cups, which is your emotions, relationships, things that speak to your heart, maybe creative things you want to invest in, or your spirituality, that sort of thing. Okay, your relationship with yourself, or your partner. So let's take a look at these 4 areas and see what pulls through here, gorgeous angels. Let's start with your Ace of Swords. And I do encourage you to listen to the disclaimer here if it's your first time to tarot, or if you're wanting to understand about this reading and how it works. Okay, so for the Ace of Swords spirit for pile number 4, in regards to understandings they might have, any clarity, any sort of truths, communications, or way of expressing themselves that might be pulling through here for the theme for 2025. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. Thank you so much, Spirit, and thank you so much, pile 4, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed to be here doing your reading. If you guys are interested in the decks I'm using, I do have that at the beginning of the video, so you can take a look. We won't be using all of them, just the ones that intuitively come through. Wow, a lot of mental activity here. Most cards just got 1, or most piles just got 1. You guys got 2 here. So we have Page of Wands in reverse, and we have the Emperor, Aries energy, divine masculine energy, and we have the 7 of Wands in the Shuffle Tarot, which is the scene of the 7 Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Emperor coming out twice from the second deck. And so that's quite significant here. So more Aries, divine masculine. What does this mean? Well, beautiful people, Emperor energy is an energy of making shit happen. Okay, I feel like this is getting empowered to take action. And here we see the Emperor's leftist chair. So I feel like maybe there was something we weren't taking action on. And I feel like with this Page of Wands in reverse and this 7 Wands in reverse, it was either something we wanted to pursue and we weren't, because we were in our mind about it, or we weren't certain how to express the authenticity about something that pulled to us. And we might have given up, or we might have not went down that path for whatever reason. And I feel as though there is an energy of getting empowered to take action and actually thinking about it and then going towards or doing whatever you feel that would align you towards that thing. Yeah, it's like you suddenly make a decision, or you suddenly have a realization of how to make it happen. And I think this also requires you to leave something, or abandon something, or some other thing that maybe, yeah, there's something pulling through here, and it might become clear as we go, but it's like in order for me to go after this thing, or take action on this thing, or step up for this thing, or get involved with this thing, I will have to abandon ship somewhere else where I'm already established. And that would require me to leave it behind, you know, or not engage with that world that I know. And it's a difficult thing that you might have had to really sit with and think and become honest with yourself and clear. You might have really mulled this over. But I feel there's a spark of clarity here, and then there's taking action and actually getting up and doing something about it. And I feel it's something you were maybe stuck with, or stuck to a form of yourself, or something you created a lot of stability, or you felt very stuck to, or it was already formed over a long period of time, but it was also bringing you down or keeping you stuck, not allowing you to grow or move forward. So it's like I have to just no longer invest in that thing, or put my energy towards it. And I no longer want to be upkeeping, because I feel like maybe you were fighting to keep it good or afloat, or it became exhausting or tiring, but there became some greater truth or something that I feel was more in line with the passion that you felt. But it would require you to step into some form of courage, because the courage would mean abandoning something else, or the courage would mean stepping towards the unknown. And so there might have been a need to really integrate some fears, or like a part of yourself, or accepting some truth of self, in order for you to be able to leave a fixed situation and feel empowered to take action towards this thing. Yeah, speaking a greater truth, taking action towards it, and really understanding that this is more in line with something you feel, you know? Okay, so let's take a look at this Ace of Pentacles. Sorry, Pentacles, Ace of Wands. So yeah, the spark, the inspiration, the passion, the desire, the career, the passion project, or what it is that you're being pulled towards here. Maybe what this Emperor left its seat for. It left its security, left its stability. It left its built empire in order to go pursue something here, I feel, or take action towards something to explore further for growth. What is this? We have the limo in reverse. This is the Chariot. Okay, and so here we see the Chariot in this shuffle tarot from the Emperor scene. And the Chariot is all about movement. It's all about balance. It's also integrating shadow, and it's the universe working with us to have victory. And so I feel like we were stuck in something that might have been very imbalanced, or it kept us not able to move because it was very fixed and stuck. And I feel like the passion we have, or the desire we have, is to get unstuck and to create a little bit more balance in our world. Or maybe we were feeling really, really out of balance. And I feel like there was some integration of shadow here, because I feel like we might have had to face some sort of fear, some sort of truth that maybe was difficult for us to integrate in order for us to have victory in our own life. Maybe there was a way we were acting reckless, you know, or sabotaging ourselves, or sacrificing ourselves to stay in something we were trying to upkeep or defend that wasn't producing. And so it limited our growth, it limited our movement. And yeah, because I find like where you are being pulled is something of a luxury with the limo, like something more luxurious. Let's see, what's with this Ace of Wands then for pile number 4, Spirit, in regards to their 2025 passions and Justice in reverse. So both of these are talking about a lack of balance. And some of you guys with the Emperor and the Justice could be a marriage, or like a fixed situation where you were committed to, or you were the provider, or you had some form of stability where you had to be the father figure, or you were involved in it somehow. And there was a lot of imbalance with your own engagement with growth when it came to that situation. And there was an untruth, I feel, or not seeing something here in this situation that made you feel stuck. You know, let's pull some more, because I feel there's more here that wants to pull through. What's with this Ace of Wands then? So we have Libra energy, we have Cancer energy, we have Aries energy. Why is there this coming forward for the Ace of Wands here for pile number 4? We have the King of Swords. So King of Swords is very strategic. So a lot of thought, a lot of being in our mind. And that's also Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy. 2 of Wands. So the Chariot has the 2, and the Balance is the 2 scales, and the Wands is the 2 wands. There's a decision you were mulling over, contemplating, thinking about, taking action on, that was more in line with your truth. I think you were really in your head about it. You know, it was something that kept you stuck or small, or it was very imbalanced or unfair to you, or it dealt with breaking away from something stuck. And so I feel like your passions, your desire, your inspiration here is what's driving the agenda of having to deal with something that you were having to get clear about, or come to some sort of understanding logically about how to choose that and get out of the wand, the comfort zone, or the world that you knew, because the world you knew was already established, but it was limiting and stuck. Okay. And I don't think you wanted to keep committing yourself there. So let's see, what then is this Pentacle realm all about here? The Ace of Pentacles for pile number 4. What is this practical action, or the practical world for 2025 bringing? I do feel there's another card here. Wow. For pile number, did I say 5? Pile number 4. I'm getting all confused. Okay. Let's see. The Devil. Yeah, we were stuck. And with the Chariot in reverse, this could be reckless, you know, reckless way that we were engaged, probably with some habitual thing, or some form that we thought we were chained to that wasn't making us feel whole. I got to cover up these nudity here. It says outer space. Take the time to heal, grow, and expand. It's all about the expansion. Yes. So I was feeling that. So we might have felt very afraid with the Devil of the consequences of releasing ourselves from some unhealthy attachment here. because we might have counted on its stability or structure in some way, that we weren't growing or expanding in that environment. The Queen of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, 10 Wands, the Death, and the 6 Wands in reverse. So there is a form of an ego death that I feel here that allows there to be a transformation. And the ego really is an identity to something of the past that made us who we were, that we're seeing through or understanding is not us, that was limiting our ability to grow and expand, that wasn't valuing our great capacity here as the Queen of Wands. So we deserve more, we're capable of more, we're beautiful, we're intelligent, we're independent, we have a fire within us that doesn't need to be put out. And so in order for me to harness this energy within self, I have to grow, heal, and allow myself to expand and transform into this. So I feel like the heaviness of the environment becomes that's too heavy, in which we can't no more carry that burden. We have to move towards the thing that pulls us in a practical way. So you could be dealing with someone here that maybe you haven't been able to work with this Queen of Wands in reverse, you know, like, and it could be, just like I said, a part of self here that wasn't embraced, that was shut out. But I feel like there's a dealing with some sort of chain, some sort of part in your world here that was keeping you stuck and not in line with, I don't know, like this just gives me, you know, somebody who's empowered and like completely expanded, completely leaning into all its potential. And this feels like someone who is stuck or watered down or chained to something unhealthy. Scorpio energy. So I do feel there is like having to, again, integrate shadow or a part of ourself that maybe we feared looking at or accepting. And so I feel like it just became too heavy to carry an understanding that I could grow and heal and move, and that I'm feeling stuck and believing with my ego, believing that that is who I am, or that I identify as that unhealthy version of me. And I learned that I'm not having success here. It's not allowing me to win. And maybe it's not allowing me to win with how I'm appreciated or stepping up to the plate here, you know. And I do feel there could be another energy, like I said, like a Queen of Wands, maybe someone we're really attracted to, or maybe someone that we want to work with, like a business partner, or somebody who's calling us out of our comfort zone or pulling towards us in a way here to step away from this devil. But it would require us to heal this sort of past version of us that we are really tied to or heavily identified with, that we're transforming out of and cutting ties from. It's a reckless version of us that kept us stuck. We might have not have been able to, at that point in time, step out of. So let's see, then what's with this Ace of Cups? Spirit's clear and concise message here for beautiful pile number 4 in regards to what's going on emotionally around them in their relationships or spiritual or anything here that wants to pull through with this Ace of Cups for 2025 for pile number 4. Their relationships, how they connect, and from a heart space, their feelings. Nine Pentacles and our value. So we were playing small. We weren't confident. We couldn't make ourselves sort of happen in the world. And I feel like we couldn't love or we couldn't feel connected emotionally because of our lack of confidence or inability to align with that perfect job or that part of us that wherever we were lacking confidence. And I feel because it's in the cups, it's like I was lacking confidence in love, or I was lacking confidence in what emotionally feels right for me because where I stood or who I thought I was or had to be. And so I shut myself out from being emotionally happy. And now it's like I'm cutting this devil or this idea or this egoic belief that I've identified as the person who couldn't, or the person who wasn't empowered, or the person who had to settle with a situation here that was already established, but it wasn't emotionally fulfilling or reflective of my true value or my true beauty. And so I make this choice to follow that wand And this wand isn't the easy wand. The wand we choose is the more difficult, the path here that's less traveled for us, instead of choosing the more solid one that we built, because the solid one we built limited us, wasn't allowing us to grow. Maybe was a little reckless, maybe was chaining us, capping our ability and making us feel small or not confident about ourselves. And so we choose this wand, explore the unknown, where we were maybe blocked or didn't see very clearly at one point. Yeah, we let go of the comfort zone. We're no longer thinking that the world that we built, the empire we built, is the be all end all in some way, that if I let go, I'm going to miss out, or I have to sacrifice a big part of myself in order to be happy, or I don't deserve happiness, or my confidence isn't there, so I cling on to the world because I'm too fearful of trying anything new or stepping out of this. It's like I step out of this comfort zone because my desire is stronger, and I break from the chain that kept me in that feeling small, because now I'm confident in this decision. I'm confident in my ability to pick what emotionally fulfills me, speaks to my heart. But it requires a decision, I feel here, that you're making to leave a certain situation that you no longer can put up with here, like the 10 wands. It's just, it becomes too heavy to be in two places at once. You know, the world you know, and the new world that is calling to you passionately, speaking to your emotions, that requires you to heal and break out of this devil, because it was very stagnant and stuck. So let's see, one more here for this Ace of Cups and for pile number 4. The Queen of Pentacles. So you depended on a situation that maybe didn't make you feel like you could stand on your own. So it was maybe a more practical scenario here with the Emperor. You know, it's like the home, but that's all it gave me. And so I clung on to it because it was paying my practical bills, or I felt like it was the only stability or security I could have. Meanwhile, when we choose the wand of, I do deserve to be emotionally happy, and I have the confidence to leave this situation, I now can be independent and find the stability in a practical way. So maybe something, like I said, paid the bills or financially made sense on paper, and I didn't have the confidence to pursue really what was pulling to me passionately to explore this thing I'd have to lean into. And maybe I was very held back. Like I was very held back, not wanting to explore, fearful of what I'd have to let go of, or just it became too heavy for me to stay there. And now I'm working with that transformation. So 2025, a year of that massive transformation of self, really coming out of where you felt stuck and held back, feeling like the universe might have had you stuck to some situation that was limiting and wasn't allowing you to step into your full confidence. And I feel like maybe you were watered down or felt like you couldn't. You know, I can't be the best version of me, or have that job, or like be seen in this beautiful, confident energy, like this world you could create of beauty, because you felt like you were at the mercy of someone else who paid your bill or just created that stability for you, and you clung to it, or you thought that that was the safest place for you to be, until you couldn't no more with the 10 wands. And it's like, I need to lean in towards this heart space and my emotions and do what's true to me and what I feel is yeah, like really tied to, like I said, spirituality and my deepest emotional beliefs here need to be fulfilled, rather than just on a material level. So let's see if we could get some more than with the Oracle cards in regards to 2025 energy for pile number 5. What is this all about? So it seems like it's all one sort of area here. Iron. So wow, look at that rock, that solidness. Iron is one of the most solid metals and is used for creating bridges and is indestructible here. I feel like you were stuck to a situation that potentially you've seen as something very solid and at one point might have been very reliable here, and it provided a lot of stability, and it might have held you up in a structure, but I feel like it was at a risk or at an imbalance of staying there and playing small. And I feel like there was an unhealthy attachment to this belief. And so we had to shed from that egoic belief that that identity was who you are. It was unhealthy. And I feel like you weren't stuck to it. And so I feel like you leave this, you know, in order to build something stable and something you can feel secure about and build upon with the iron, something very solid. We have 22 as a master number, and 22 is peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy, energetic boundaries. It's also about divinely guided relationships. Okay, so it's also number 4, and 4 is emperor energy. So there's something about being empowered, creating your own stability in a way here that speaks to you, not necessarily because you have to, but because it's really emotionally tied to you, but empowered to do this stability, committing to something here, you know, creating the foundation of something here. Sun and Uranus. So sun energy is masculine, more emperor energy, being empowered, taking charge. Sun energy is bright, it's output energy, and it's fun. It's summertime. So I feel like we go from a dry energy of having to do, or the way that it is, or the way that it's been, that we've been stuck to I can now see a funner way to implement fun, joy, contentment, but still secure myself in a way here that's solid. And I think it's unexpected here with Uranus. And I think it's also, it disrupts what you have going on, because Uranus is the great disruptor. It's tower energy. It's flipping everything we sort of know on its side. And I feel like maybe that's why there was fear in abandoning or exploring. But I feel like now we can't know more, and we come out of that situation suddenly. We come to some understanding, to take action, to speak a great truth that turns our world upside down here. But I feel like it creates the stability in an area that actually makes us happy, that we actually see the joy here in something, because it comes with the Ace of Cups, and it comes here with more aligned with our confidence, you know, and our value. Yeah, it's a beautiful energy, because we're not sacrificing or giving something up. And I think we thought we would, or with the devil here, and, you know, this is 6 wands. It's like we had to come to terms with releasing with the death, the illusion that we thought held us hostage. We had to come to terms with transforming out of this. But I do feel it is very, very sudden here with the Uranus, or at least it shakes up a part of our world. You know, but we're being guided here with the 22, because like I said, that's divinely guided relationships. And I was feeling another energy here. So maybe somebody who brings us up to a higher level of ourselves, because we can see in this person, or they inspire us to become a better version of ourselves, to make these changes. This one showed itself. It's silence and snow, 34. Or the number 7. 7 is chariot energy, which we got twice here. The limo and the emperor, though it's shown as a chariot. So chariot is, like I said, winning with the universe, moving forward, having to get balance, but it's progress where we were stuck. It's balance where we were unbalanced. You guys were unbalanced in your past situation, or at least this is what you're working through. You know, and silence and snow, like I feel like there's something about it being pure. And the purity is the authenticity of what's really calling to you, that I feel you hear for the first time. And when you hear it, you resonate with it, because I think there was a lot of not wanting to accept or see, or yeah, it was more of like defending or upkeeping some structure with the devil. So it was the lack mindset. And now the silence is, let me just be silent and sit in my pure energy, so I can get to understand what is the truth. And the truth is that there's a beautiful energy of more capacity, a higher version of yourself, something that's more in line with your authenticity. And I feel like it is pure here, like it requires you to be authentic, and it's exploring this beautiful energy. I do feel though that snow is quite cold, and so maybe it's something that we're needing to provide more warmth towards. Like there's a lot of cold and iron and snow here. So before I pull any more, I'm going to pull one of these, and then maybe we might pull some tarot to see. But I don't know, like, were we really cold? It feels like it's a desolate sort of environment, a coldness maybe where we felt stuck, frozen, but needing more warmth. Like we can't no more with the 10 of Wands, carry the burden of feeling emotionally cut out. Mountain, clarity. Yeah, some area that was stuck, frozen. Look at these mountains covered in snow. So mountains in symbology here could be obstacles that seem insurmountable, or something that is very fixed, and it's a challenge. And to get through the challenge, sometimes we got to go through it, okay, or around it. But it's like we might have had to keep climbing in order to see something differently. And I feel like we were getting this clarity, this certainty about, really, are we stuck, or are we seeing the devil for what it is? You know, are we now seeing this mountain as something maybe that we thought we were stuck to or chained to, or as an obstacle? But the clarity is, it's not something that holds me back. It was something that maybe made me feel cold, but I stuck to it. And I stuck to it because there was fear in letting go, or choosing the comfort zone, or because it was the thing I was relying on, or it paid my bill, or it was the thing that was more stable. It was very fixed. It created my structure, and I knew that I would have to sort of upturn it with the Great Awakener, with the Uranus energy, to shift my world. But it was at the expense of my happiness, my joy, my confidence, and not carrying that weight of that coldness that kept me very frozen. So yeah, snow, clarity, like purity. But I feel it's been a challenge to get there. We see 16, or the number 7. 7 is Chariot again. 7-7. 7-7 is a master number. And 7-7 is trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life, and trust of self. So we're trusting ourselves to make this decision to leave a safe, secure, solid state of something that doesn't let us grow and is very cold and stuck. And it could be something we created an identity to and thought we had to be pinned to it. Okay, but Chariot, movement, victory, balance, integrating shadow. So integrating the ego, the belief, transmuting that energy into light so that we can see clearly a situation that maybe was very stuck in some sort of understanding we had of how it had to be or what it had to be. Okay, but I feel like it became too cold and too desolate, no matter how solid and secure. And maybe we felt we couldn't press through it. It was very fixed, very, very fixed. Juggler. So we might have been going back and forth, and we could have felt like the understanding we had was, if I upturn this thing with the Uranus energy and let go of this fixed position, I would be up in the air, or would be juggling some sort of stability that I've already created. And I think this is keeping us to the devil, keeping us to some sort of understanding. But I feel like we can now see, you know, we can now see where we were up in the air. We can now decide, or we can now, I don't know, like make terms with something here that I feel we were going back and forth. I feel there's a 2 Pentacles again, a decision, a need for balance. You know, maybe we're trying to make ends meet, even with the devil here, but trying to keep something that was already falling apart up, like, together. But it was really up in the air because it wasn't solid. It felt like it could maybe fall apart at any point, or I kept feeling like I was robbing from Peter to pay Paul. You know, like, no matter what I was doing here, it was like, I don't know, I just couldn't no more in that energy. I think you're trying to make something happen. But the 2 things I'm really seeing here, although we see lots, but the 2 Pentacles, it's like, do I choose my boring, cold, unfulfilling, stable thing that I've always known that doesn't let me grow, but I pay my bill? Or everything else that comes on this other side that's emotionally makes me feel confident, makes me feel seen, makes me feel like speaks to me, but I don't know what's going to happen with this sort of stability, or my finances, or my material world. And so I kind of need to risk or juggle a part of one world to see how the other one works out. Yeah, again, with the balance, the 2. Moon in Libra, 19, or the number 10. 10 is all about conclusions, ends of cycle, transformation, which we got with the Scorpio energy, the death. So love. I did feel there was maybe something we love here, or passionate, or someone that pulls us out through the passion, the fire, and the love of this version of ourself we can connect to. Bring peace to your life, and your relationships will flourish. Yeah, we might have been shutting out love, or shutting out a piece of ourselves, like love, in order to keep something stable. And then we have Gemini, Sun in Gemini, communications, number 3. Hone your negotiation and relationship skills. So we have 2 things about relationships. So the world you know, I think, was cutting out a relationship or cutting out relationships in general because we wanted to keep the status quo. And so I feel like there's an honest truth of expression we now have towards what is aligned with what makes us happy. And so we find a fine balance. And we're needing to open ourselves up in a way here that allows us to expand, allows us to move. So I feel like could be travel, or there could just be movement in an area that was very, very stuck. And so we're able to communicate what this looks like and express ourselves, because I feel there's a newfound clarity and a sunlight, a joy, a warmth where things were very cold, frozen, stuck, and it's trusting in the balance. It's trusting in the universe. It's not feeling up and down or turbulent, and feeling more balanced and more integrated, I feel, with all the chariot we kept seeing, in order to move forward, in order to navigate the journey forward. So let's just pull some tarot, because I feel like for this group there is some tarot that's going to maybe clarify anything we've missed. For pile number 4, spirits, in this predominant energy for 2025, can we get closure here, or whatever it is that pile 4 is needing to know about this energy? And like I said, for some of you guys, it could be someone you're dealing with. It could be your own energy. That fell sideways. And one more, or however many come out here. 2 more. And we have the Page of Cups. Opening the heart space. So pages. It started sort of with a page here. This is novice energy. There might be a lot of lack of confidence initially in exploring from this novice energy of something we don't know. It's like a childlike wonder in exploring an area, but it's starting from the beginning, or exploring something here that would require us to be vulnerable or just open our heart space in some way. Okay, that I feel like we are working throughout for 2025. We're working throughout releasing the 4 Pentacles. The comfort zone, the thing we clung to, the security we built that was cold or just stuck, and it was holding us back rather than allowing us to grow. Because the love we have, or the opening of the heart space, allows us to work on detaching, which I do feel is sudden. Like I felt like it was like an abrupt decision is finally made. But I feel like it's taken a long time. So you could have been in this for a very long time, and maybe 2024 has been a year of working through understanding this. But I feel like 2025 is like, once you let go of this world that's kept you sort of in devil and stuck, it's a very fast alignment to finding your confidence and your happiness and your joy. But I feel like it only happens when we lean into this heart space, allow the innocence to explore and not to feel fearful of the unknown or the thing we haven't tried. 7 Cups. So I'm getting that juggling thing. We were unclear. We had to pick, we were unclear, and maybe we were not sure, like, if I pick that, what's behind that cup? I have to choose wisely. And so I didn't choose. And so I felt like imbalanced, because I was like giving up some sort of thing here in order to maintain the status quo. 8 Swords. Yeah. Limited in what I thought it would be. I was limited by my own belief that me staying to a situation was the only way that I could find security, that I could get wealth, or that I could depend on, that I could find stability, that I could secure myself to. It was the only stability I had, although very cold. It was a misbelief that I identified with or understood, a story that I told myself that I had to work on releasing in order to move forward. 5 Wands, so I was very conflicted. And we could have created conflict with other people, like not agreeing or having a difference of opinion here, or not solidifying something, a choice, going back and forth. And so I feel like we were conflicted, but it was mostly driven by our own understanding of limitation that kept us in the cold or stuck to some mountain that was frozen. 3 Cups in reverse, and then the Ace of Wands. So I'm getting double energy from this 3 of Cups in reverse, because for me, the 3 of Cups in reverse sometimes is we distract through certain ways. Either we don't allow ourselves to emotionally connect, so we keep things very light and we don't allow ourselves to go there, or we distract with drinking, or we distract with partying, or we distract with removing ourselves from certain people or environments that might bring us emotional happiness, and we unhealthily deal with this in order to upkeep some sort of version of ourselves. But I feel like at the end of the day, what works through here is this Ace of Wands, this new beginning that we were suppressing, avoiding, holding ourselves back from, the fire to pursue something here that allows us to have the fire in our belly. Like this is, I'm inspired to see the best version of myself. This spark cannot be put out. And I do feel like, just like a match, when we light that spark, it's like a fire you can't put out. I feel like it's sudden. You know, it's like sudden here, and we are no longer held back, and we have the courage to lean into the thing that we might have been resisting or holding back from, because it's like it's now set ablaze. And I feel very fired up about this thing. You know, like it's no longer snow. Like this is cold, solid. It's like now I'm moving with fire, and it's encompassing everything I touch, this passion and this desire to lean towards this thing, you know, because I feel it does speak to your heart when it comes to all these cups. And we might have been suppressing feelings in some way here, or choosing the more practical thing rather than the thing that speaks to the heart. Queen of Swords in reverse. We weren't seeing clearly, or we could have been very cold when it came to matters of the heart with all this snow and the stuck energy. So the mind was driving, but also my lack of clarity. I feel you had a lack of clarity for 2024. I think you weren't seeing very clearly a direction. I think the mind was really getting in the way, and the mind could have been telling very cold stories about who you are, or what you had to deserve or put up with, or what was secure and what would be too scary. But it's like, no, like now it's like I'm pulled by my passion. I'm pulled by overcoming anything that kept me stuck. I no longer want to be up and down, or trying to make ends meet here, or being in a seven cups, like confusion, or not certain, or keeping all of the options on the table but feeling like upside down and not honing in on something, and it would require me to let go of the safety net or the world that I thought was secure, and making this massive life decision. You know, I feel like you make that decision and you align yourself with that, and I feel it's rewarded, because I feel like when you do, it's like you come together, your confidence comes together. I feel like your finances or your practical world comes together. You stand on your own, and it's like maybe you thought you couldn't, or you thought you had to depend on someone or a set of circumstances to provide you with that thing. And it's like, no, I made it myself. I didn't need that thing. So that was an 8 swords that I thought I had to sacrifice my own happiness or what I deserved emotionally in order to create my world. But it's like, I don't have to sacrifice it. I can explore this. And it's like this innocent love, this innocent exploration, this joy and this fun and the summertime energy that really melts the snow, something that was very stuck and frozen, you know, and very imbalanced, I feel, in your world here. And whatever we use to distract or keep out, I feel we identify here as something that's no longer the way we want to handle a situation. We cut cords with this devil, you know. So beautiful people, I know this looks like a pigsty. I want to take this moment to thank your spirit guides, spirit, for pulling through here, for delivering this message for 2025. This is just one area. It's the more of the predominant area that's kind of pulling through here, although it does touch all these different areas of your world. If you do want to go to another pile to see that, you're more than welcome to. And I want to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas if you are here at the time of the posting, a Happy New Year, and I am looking forward to doing more readings with you guys. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.